Well, happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to another live lawn care Q&A. My name is Ron Henry, and I am here to help answer your lawn care questions. If this is the first time you're gracing us with your presence, welcome. Super happy to have you here. The way this works is really simple. On your screen, you're going to see a chat box. In that chat box, you can enter your question, concern, comment of the day, and I work through them in the order that they come in. Now, sometimes I have the answers, sometimes I do not, but either way, we have an awesome time talking about lawn care. Well, happy middle of November, everyone. Hopefully, those of you that still have lawns are still enjoying being able to get out there and work on your lawns and still, mowing and doing that kind of stuff. And those of us that live in the Southeast US, where our lawns are starting to go dormant, we're making the best of what Mother Nature is throwing at us. So it's a good time all around. And again, hopefully everyone is doing well. Got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. You guys asked about if there's any specials that we're going to be running on the Golf Course Lawn Store leading up to Black Friday. For the folks that are on this live stream tonight, and also for people that are on my mailing list, you guys, if you're on my mailing list, you already know about it. But if you're not on the live stream tonight, I'll be sharing some details around that. And you guys get to have like a again, hence the code Insider. You guys get a preview, or you guys get first dibs before everyone else does. So I'm doing it like in phases. What's going to happen is there's already a discount that's running on the store on everything on the store that's going to run from now until Monday after Black Friday. So I think that's the 27th. And so there's a pinned comment that's in YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube that will save you 5% on the Golf Course Lawn Store on everything. And the way that's going to work is again, if you're on the live stream, so you guys are hearing this, you're in the sound of my voice. If you guys are hearing that, and if you're on my mailing list, you guys already know about it. You guys will get to a chance to pick up, fertilizer, herbicides, pretty much everything that's in the Golf Course Lawn Store that we have limited quantities of before I make an announcement about it next Thursday. So next Thursday on Thanksgiving, I'm going to send it out to like Instagram and YouTube communities and Facebook and just kind of do a blast out to everyone else. But to give you guys, the loyal followers, ones that support me here on YouTube, come and watch the live stream week in, week out, and then have already been customers of the Golf Course Lawn Store, I wanted you guys to have first dibs to get what you needed before everything sold out. So with that out of the way, let's see who we have in the live stream this evening. We got Mr. Offroad NV chiming in from Reno, Nevada. What's going on, Offroad NV? Hopefully you're doing well, sir. And for those of you guys that are on Instagram, I know you guys can't see the any links or anything that I post, but this is the code you can use on the Golf Course Lawn Store. It'll save you, again, 5% off of everything. There's not really any order limits. But when things that you see get sold out are sold out, they're not going to be replaced until next year. So again, gives you guys first dibs at stocking up for 2024, right? Good stuff. We got Moro in the live stream saying, hey, what's going on, Moro? Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for coming to say hi. And our first comment of the evening comes from Golf Course Lawn Academy member, Mr. Jason Harrison, where he says, it's an excellent day. Place an order for my entire 2024 season. Thanks for the code. You're very welcome, sir. Also have a large Chick-fil-A lemonade to watch the show. Have a great weekend, everyone. Very nice, Jason. Good job stocking up for the season. I mean, again, fertilizer, the liquids, as long as you keep them in your garage, they're fine to store until next spring when you need them. So it's a great time to stock up because we're not going to run another one next year. I mean, we rarely run any kind of discounts on the store, and you guys kept asking, so I said, all right, we'll do one for Black Friday, but during the regular season, very unlikely to happen. So you got Chick-fil-A lemonade, man. You're doing better than me. I'm dealing with, I got Milo's Arnold Palmer, and I got a little bit of mint in this as well. And it's not as good as what you've got, but I like it. Not a bad vintage. Not a bad vintage. I'm telling you, man, if you like that Chick-fil-A lemonade, you got to find some, it's like the lemongrass mint tea. You can find it at Publix. Put a little bit of that in there. Really adds like a little extra sauce to it. It's good stuff. All right, so next we have Mr. Larry LRCXD. He says, Ron, I'll be watching and listening in, but I have a friend on the way to work on his motorcycle. I'll chat when I'm freed up. Very, very cool. So Larry sent some pictures in of his lawn that I want to show you guys a little bit later in the show. We'll give it some time, maybe like 30 minutes in case he comes back. But if you remember, he was the guy that did the fescue renovation on his lawn. And then last week he got the Stress 12024 and the carbon kit in, and he applied both of those last week, and he wanted to send me pictures, which I got today, showing the results. So we'll take a look at that later on in the show. And yeah, hopefully you guys will get a kick out of that. Really nice color response that he got just a week into this. All right, next up is Jason Harrison. He says, I figure the discount pays for gas for the season. That's true. That's true. It does help. Every little bit does help. And we also got Mr. Jared George in the house. He says, what's up, everyone? Not too much, Jared. The weather has returned to its norm for Georgia this time of year, which is nice. 50s, sometimes getting up in the 60s. So it's pleasant to be outside. Not that crazy coldness we had a couple weeks ago. So I am enjoying it. It's great weather for working in your lawn. Next up, we got Jay Bear saying, hello, everybody. What's going on, Jay Bear? Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for coming to hang out. And I appreciate you as always. And next is Jared. He has a comment here. He says, got to tinker a smidge with my new to me lawnmower. Pull string is already fixed and engine runs. Gonna set aside some time to complete and clean. What do people use to coat the reel? Ceramic? What do you mean by coating the reel? Like, are you talking about from a standpoint of like preventing rust, or are you talking like from an appearance standpoint? There are people that paint the reels, like they'll use paint, but what you want to do is you don't want to get paint on the cutting edge. So you can get like some masking tape, and you don't have to mask very much of it off, but like say a quarter of an inch away from the edge of the reel, you can mask that off and then just paint the rest of the reel to make it look nice. If you put paint on the entire thing, it's going to get taken off whenever whenever the reel runs. But as far as being able to set it up properly after you're done painting it, you're not going to want to have paint on the very edge of the reel so that you can set the tolerances properly between the reel and bed knife. But ceramic, I've not heard of anyone doing a ceramic coating or anything like that on a reel. I've not heard of that. I mean, I'm trying to think of what the benefit of doing that would be, but most people that I know about, they just paint it. They just paint it. They mask off again, like I said, like 1/4 of an inch or so from the edge of the reel, and then they call it good there. You know what I mean? They don't do much more than that. So let us know. Keep us posted as far as how it develops, and if there's anything else we can help with, definitely let me know. I'm also looking for pictures. A viewer sent me some pictures of a new to him mower, and I'm trying to find them because it was I think he got a McLean. It was a brand new McLean. It was Brian. There we go. I found your pictures, Brian. So I wanted to show these in the live stream as well, so people can check out your new hardware. I'm not sure if you're in the live stream tonight, but I did promise you that I would show them. So I'm a man of my word, and I am gonna get these all queued up here in a little bit to show everyone your new hardware. So good stuff. All right, next up is L&S has a question about pre-emergent. Says, should I skip pre-emergent if I plan to plug sections of my zoysia grass next spring? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Because whenever you are using plugs, L&S, you're introducing not just the grass as a plant, but you're also introducing, 4 to 6 inches of root zone as well. So as long as conditions are right for you to install the plugs and you're watering adequately, pre-emergent shouldn't negatively affect the ability for the plugs to establish. So no, given what you're weighing against, right? So if you don't use pre-emergent, you're going to have a lot more weed pressure and just more of a more headache to deal with in the springtime when it comes to weeds versus not doing that. I would lean towards applying your pre-emergent and then still plugging in the spring. Again, it shouldn't negatively impact your ability for those plugs to establish. I mean, just make sure that when you do it, there's plenty of temperature. It's not, you're not going to get any freezing temps to where once you're on a warming trend, you put the plugs in the lawn. The zoysia plug should take off without much of an issue. So hope that helps. Great question. I've not seen your name before, so if you are new, welcome to the live stream. I always like getting questions from you viewers, and sounds like a fun project. But to answer your question in a nutshell, I absolutely would use pre-emergent. I would not omit that and have to deal with weeds, because here's what you have to deal with, to think about, right? Like if I had a choice of omitting pre-emergent for the fall, like of the two, spring is the one that people think about a lot. But for me with warm season turf, like the fall is what I am really concerned about, because like fall pre-emergent keeps Poa annua out of your lawn. And Poa is, while it will die off when temperatures get hot, it's just really an eyesore. It looks ugly. It sticks around, well into May until it starts to get hot. And it's a difficult weed to control even after the fact. So you can use Certainty to control it, right, if you have that in your lawn, but it takes higher rates of this to be able to control Poa. So I absolutely would not omit your fall pre-emergent at all. I really wouldn't do that, especially since you're planning on using plugs. So absolutely apply your pre-emergent, and that's going to be the best bet. That is what I would do if I were you. All right, next up we have a question here from Moro. Moro's in the house. He says, who is servicing your Toro lately? So normally it is Jerry Pate Company, Moro. This last time, the guy that ground my Allet, Michael, what is his last name? Michael, oh man, it's going to drive me crazy. I have him here in text. Let me see. Hammonds, that's it. Michael Hammonds. I had him do the sharpen on it. Did a great job. So I've had him sharpen it. This year coming up, though, I'll send it back to Jerry Pate. I'll let them go through the entire mower, and if there's anything else that needs to replace, I'll have them go ahead and do that as well too. But just for sharpening, he did it. He did a great job. The mower cut great all season long. There was no issues with it. It's still sharp. Like I went out there and I cut with it the other day, and it's still cutting great. It's holding an edge really well. He did an excellent job. Who knows, when it goes to Jerry Pate, they may not even sharpen it. They may just put a back lap on it and send it back to me once they're done with all the other service that they have to do. So that's who I would say, Moro, give Michael Hammonds a call, or obviously you can always call Jerry Pate Company. They do excellent work. The nice thing about them too is if you care about that, they're a Toro dealership, so they're only going to use genuine Toro parts on the mower. So if that means something to you, that's also another reason to consider them as well. They are going to be more expensive though than other options. So something that to keep in mind, right? It's like if you have your Honda and you have to go take it to the Honda dealership, their labor rate's going to be more expensive than if you take it to, a shop that works on Hondas, but they're just not an official, not an official dealership. So same kind of thing with your Toro. Great question, sir. Glad to see you're doing well. And we got Mr. Alex Lee in the house. What's going on, Alex? Hopefully you are doing well, sir. Thanks for coming to hang out this evening in the live stream. Next, we got Mr. Robert Rainey. He says, "Oh wow, this one snuck up on me. Happy Friday." Yeah, it's Friday, but like 24 hours sooner. Because as you guys know, last week I mentioned that a former student at the studio is going to come to he's doing a show. He's launching a new album. He's a musician. He plays guitar. He's really good. So he asked that so a few of us at the studio come to his album launch event tomorrow evening, Friday evening. Actually, you know what? If you guys are I can give him a plug. Why not? If you guys are in the Gainesville area, let's see if I can find the banner. If you guys are in the Gainesville area and you feel like coming to hear some live music and want to say hi, this is it. So Sammy Shepard, his album release party. The name of his album is Basement Colors. His dad, Steve Shepard, is also a musician, really good cinematographer. So yeah, gets free pizza, and that's where the show's going to be in Gainesville. It says Peyton's, 110 Main Street, Gainesville Southeast. If you want to go and hang out and listen to some live music and support a young person that's doing something good and positive with their life, by all means feel free to stop by. I will be there supporting Sammy and listening and watching him do his thing. So that's why the live stream is tonight instead of Friday. You guys know, man, there's only a couple of reasons why the live stream ever gets changed. We rarely cancel it, but it's only a couple of things: karate events, and also all of this is not a karate event. It's someone that's really affiliated with martial arts, so it's a good reason to move it, especially with it being the fall. It's a slower time of year. Why not? All right, cool. Next up, we have Jared. He's up next. He says, "Why should you avoid stepping on your lawn when it has frost? Even if it's fully dormant and I'm going to scalp with a spring, what is possibly bad about it? You can cause damage." So on Bermuda, I have not personally experienced issues with walking on the lawn when there's been snow on it. Like in years past, when we've had snow here in Georgia for the 1 or 2 days we get snow, and some of the kids will come on the lawn, they'll make snowmen and hang out and have a grand old time. The lawn is absolutely fine in the springtime. There's never any issues with it. But if you have let's say you have like a cool season lawn, right, that hasn't gone dormant. So you have a lawn like what Larry has, and they get their first frost. If you step on a lawn, or you walk on a lawn, put a lot of traffic on a lawn that is not that's not dormant, the chances of you damaging the grass, just creating conditions where disease can develop is more of a thing. I have not seen that happen. I've not experienced that on Bermuda lawns, or I've not really seen that happen on a couple of Zoysia lawns we have around here too. It just not really have been a thing that I've seen. But again, we don't get winter weather like what you would get in, say, like Arkansas, or like that a little bit further north. You know what I mean? So it's not a great like, in other words, our experience with very cold weather is not a good representation of what can happen if you were to do that. But in general, it's because you can cause damage to the turf. You just stay off of it is why. So we have our first super chat. This one is from Mr. Ted Rogers. Thank you so much, Ted.
Super chat received.
He says, "My man, when is the best time to put down fall pre-emergent? Is it too late in Southern Kentucky? I'm still mowing and my grass is dark green while others in the neighborhood have gone dormant." That's a subtle flex. As always, thanks for everything. Yeah, Ted, so the time to put down pre-emergent in the fall is when temperatures are in the low 70s trending cooler, mid to low 70s trending cooler. That's a good time to get your pre-emergent down. In Kentucky, I don't know off the top of my head what the temperatures are in Kentucky right now, but I would say you're in a good window to get your pre-emergent applied. If you were someone that had not just established a lawn from seed. So if I remember, Ted, you went through and this past fall, you did a full renovation. You seeded that brand new fescue lawn. So in your case, I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? It's a brand new lawn. It's only a few months old. So you at the earliest in your case, you're going to want to wait until springtime. But if you did not have a if you had not done that, right? So you had an established lawn that you've had around for several seasons and you're looking to do pre-emergent, the most correct answer is you really want to get it down and in the soil before temps are in the mid 60s, because that's when a lot of cool season weeds begin to germinate. So that's why I always tell folks mid to low 70s, get your pre-emergent applied in the fall, and that's going to set you up for success. When it comes to pre-emergent, a little bit early is always better than a little bit late. Again, the only caveat to that would be in your case where you've recently done a renovation. So if memory serves me, you did that fescue installation in like September, right? So I would not put pre-emergent on a brand new cool season lawn. So yeah. So hopefully that helps. Answered your question, but the answer in your case is still to not do it. At the earliest, you'd wait till springtime. Conventional wisdom says that you'd want to give it a full year, but you can look at the lawn in the springtime and decide for yourself whether or not you want to introduce pre-emergent then. But I would not do it only a couple months after having established a brand new lawn. So hope that helps. And he says, so I'll wait till next year. You got it? Yeah. And it's not that big a deal, Ted. Because remember, man, when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to renovation type work, right? You're making a choice about what's really more important to you. Like if you decide you're going to grow a lawn from seed, which is hard mode, it's a more difficult way of doing it, especially when it comes to cool season, or to warm season lawns, grass types. You're making the decision to not use pre-emergent, which means that you are going to have to control weeds using post-emergence after the fact. It's really not that big a deal. I mean, it's more work than preventing the weeds in the first place. But when you make the decision to say that you're going to do a renovation and you're going to establish a brand new lawn from seed, you're saying that the new lawn, getting the seed installed, and to establish, that is the most important thing to me. So you have to give. There's always a give and take, right? There's no free lunch. Unfortunately, you can't have everything when it comes to turf care. So, I mean, I think you made the right choice. Your lawn looks great. I don't have a picture of it. I may have a picture from last week. I'm not sure. I think you did send me one. Yeah, we did. Yeah, so this is your lawn right here. Looks awesome. I mean, that lawn was dirt a few months ago, and it's looking absolutely great. Let it enjoy life. Let it enjoy this winter, this early spring, and then next year, if you want to do pre-emergent, by all means, go for it. And what that means is you're just gonna have to get yourself some post-emergent herbicide, like Triad, Sedgehammer, Tenacity, whatever weeds, depending on the kind of weeds you're trying to control, and just do spot spraying as the weeds pop up. And that's just the way it is. That's what that's the price you pay when you decide you're going to establish a brand new lawn, which I think you made the right choice. Your lawn looks awesome. And it's just a different way of controlling the weeds. So good stuff, man. Glad that your lawn came in really nicely, especially with all the trials and tribulations you had over getting it to this point. And yeah, you're saying, so you'll wait till next year. That is what I would do. That is what I would do. You could risk it, but it's just like, why do that? Especially with all the work that went into getting your lawn to where it is now. I would just wait. I really would wait. All right. Next up, we have no one here on the gram. Next up, we have Oliver Rittem. Oliver's in the house. He says, "Happy Thursday, Ron. Loaded up on Black Friday sale with the Country Club Lebanon Fert for the entire 2024 season, ready to dominate and get those soil levels up to optimal." I like it. I like it a lot. Really, really cool. That's good stuff, Oliver. I mean, this is a time to save, guys. I mean, if you already are using the products in the golf course lawn store and you've got your program figured out for the most part, it's a great time to get in there and save some money on your fertilizers. I mean, a good way of figuring it out, right? If you say, well, if I'm going to buy everything I need for this upcoming season, or at least get a good start on this upcoming season, how can I go and figure out what I need? Just use the calculator. I mean, here's the thing, it kind of hurts a little bit. A lot of energy went into building this. It's here on the lawn fertilizer page. It's also its own standalone calculator here. So, by all means, if you need to figure out how much of whatever you need, by all means do that. So if I have a warm season lawn, I'm gonna be doing spoon feeding. I don't need phosphorus. I do want some growth regulator, and I want granular biostimulant, just like that. So you can say, okay, this is enough for 1 month. This is enough for 3 months. This is enough Primo again for 3 months. And so what the calculator does is it bills out a program for you on the liquid side, at least for 3 months worth. For the granulars, it's 1 month. So if you wanted to say enough for 3 months, you'd say, give me an extra 2 bags of that, and then another 2 bags of Essential G, and then you're done. And then you add that to the cart, and then you use the code that is in the pinned comment, Insider 2024. So I'll link it here for you guys. And don't be sharing this around because again, it's not only the Academy members and people on the mailing list, and you guys are getting this. So if you're sharing it all over the place, then as long as you get your stuff first, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? But yeah, use that code to save yourself some money as you prepare for this upcoming season, because we're not going to run a sale in the beginning of next year once the season gets rolling. So stock up now. Don't say I never offer discounts, because here you go. You're getting a chance to get something at a discount. All right. Next up, we have Terrence Stamps. Terrence is in the house. He says, "Hey, Ron and everyone, thanks for all you do. You are very, very welcome, Terrence. Thanks for all the love and support. And, let's show off Larry's lawn. I'm not sure if he's coming back. He might be on a motorcycle, living his best life, helping his buddy out. So if you guys remember Larry's lawn from over the past couple of weeks, he's been sending us updates weekly. So last week, this is what his lawn looked like, which I think is quite good, quite nice, right? I mean, you can see how it looked. Color looks good, not bad. It's coming in nicely, right? Overall. So that was from last week. And then this week, he sent me some pictures of the lawn. This is 1 week in. This is after him spraying the carbon kit, the 901C carbon kit, and the 12-0-24 fertilizer. So this is the lawn, an aerial shot today, and we'll get some down at closer to the ground. You can see how that color's really nice. You can see now here, one thing you'll point out, right? So I reached out to him. I said, "Hey, Larry, what's going on with why is there different colors? If you look there, there's an area there where it's nice and dark and a little bit lighter." So he's applying it, and I don't really recommend this, but he's applying the fertilizer using one of those like the Scott's, the handheld twist, I guess, broadcast spreaders. So they don't necessarily do the best job. Those are fine for seeding, but don't do necessarily the best job for applying fertilizer. But you can see where he did apply the 12-0-24. You can see the difference in color, how much darker that is compared to the areas where he didn't get as even a job. But overall, yeah, I mean, that's very lush. Compare that to this last week, and there's a pretty nice difference in color. So that's just a week ago. So from there to there, very, very cool. So Larry, the next thing we're gonna have to do for you, man. I think I have any more pictures here. Yes, another shot of the lawn. You can see how much darker the color is. One thing we got to work on for you is we got to get you a broadcast spreader. I highly recommend like the Earthway. Your lawn looks big enough to me to warrant one. I realize it's another piece of equipment to store, but if you don't use thread lock on the thumb screws, the handle does fold down, so it can get pretty compact, and that's going to get it to where your color is even across the entire lawn. But you can see the lawn is having a nice response from the fertilizer. We just got to get that application a little more even. Overall, very nice work. Thank you for sending the pictures. It really means a lot to know that the products, just only a week in, are already producing a nice response. And keep us posted, man. I'd like to have some kind of green grass to look at, because mine certainly doesn't look like that right now. Here's the thing, guys. I didn't even take a picture of the lawn today to show you guys, because it looks like how it looked last week. It's still brown and looking depressed and, not living its best life right now. Not living its best life. We can just say that. All right, next up is, actually, you know what? I got to get, I messed up. Let me get my Ted up here as my show sponsor. Ted, I know you're probably throwing bricks at me. You're saying, "What are you doing, man? You're dropping the ball." So Ted Rogers, thank you for the super chat, sir. There you go. Your name in lights, whatever it means to you, Mr. Fescue Lawn. Great stuff. Thanks again for all the support, sir. Next up is Mr. Two Trilla. He says, "Happy Friday, Ron and Stripe Action Gang. What's going on, Two Trilla? I know you're in Georgia as well. You're like me. Our lawns are just kind of meh right now. You know what I mean? Our lawn certainly doesn't look like this." Next up, we got Devin. Devin's in the house. What's going on, Devin? So what's up, Ron? Going to snag another bag of Essential G and try the Nutrizolve micronutrient. Can't wait for 2024. Already have my USGA spec Santa for top dressing set up for delivery next spring. Look at you. Here's the thing. So Robert, I don't know if Robert isn't here. Robert, you better watch out. You see what Devin's doing? He's coming for you, man. He's coming hard. He's not using just regular sand. He got the USGA sand. He's doing that good on the lawn. He's breaking out the Nutrizolve, and it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. Devin, if you are gonna get some Essential G and Nutrizolve, be sure to use the discount code that's a pinned comment in the live stream. It's Insider 2024. It's a great way to stock up for what you need for next year. And again, that sale's only running for a limited amount of time. And whenever there's some of the products that we have, we only have limited quantities of them. And when they sell out, they're not going to be replenished until next year. So like if you need something, get it now. I mean, as long as you got a place to store it, there's no real harm in getting ahead of the game. Get your domination ready for 2024. I can't wait to see it, man. See Devin and Robert go at it. And again, we got to get you back on the live stream. I know you're a married man now. You got responsibilities, but still, you can come hang out with us. You have to stay the entire time. You just come on for an hour. Say an hour of Devin on the show, and then you can like go off and do the married guy thing. I know you're a new husband, so I get it. You got other responsibilities. All right, next up is Gerald Jennings. He says, Ron, I'm taking. No, just here. Ron, I'm doing a soil test this weekend. It's been 2 months since I last fertilized my lawn. What can I expect for the NPK on this test? Whatever the nutrient levels are in the soil. I mean, I guess if you're asking, it's been 2 months since you last fertilized, what I would expect to see are like the levels to reflect whatever, the nutrients you've been putting into the soil, whatever fertilizer you've been applying. I'd imagine whatever is in the soil, you should see those levels elevated, assuming you're applying enough of it. If you're asking the question of is there enough time has passed, I would say yes. So I have fertilized, say, the beginning of the month, and then I've pulled cores 4 weeks later. So the test that I did this experiment in 2021, in the summer of 2021. I fertilized the beginning of May. And before June, I took samples, and I didn't see like any spikes or any spikes in nutrient levels that would be attributable to like you pulling cores right after fertilizing. You know what I mean? So if you say you fertilize your lawn, you won't want to go out like a day or two or a week later and get cores then, because the fertilizers that's in the soil may skew the results. But I have found through my testing, 4 weeks from the last time you did any kind of a granular input is enough to get an accurate measurement. So yeah. So with you being 2 months out, 2 months removed from the last time you did any kind of a granular input, you should be good to go. So in other words, whatever the soil tests return, that's what you got. It's not like they're being skewed, or they're not being overly skewed or overly influenced by a recent fertilizer app. So hope that helps, Gerald. Good job getting a soil test done. It's a great time of year to do that. As a matter of fact, on the subject of soil testing, I've got one that a viewer sent to me. If I can find it. Actually, it's from a gentleman named Garrett, not Gerald, but Garrett, and he's asking me for some recommendations. So this is a recent soil test that I got today from him. And he says, hey, Ron, so what would you do? He has a Bermuda lawn, so his lawn is dormant. Let me get over here so you can actually see me. His lawn is dormant right now. And he's saying, my nitrogen is low, phosphorus is high, potassium is optimal, but it's still like on the lower end of the optimal range. And then his micronutrients could use some love. So he says, so what would you do if you were me? I said, well, what I would say is I would not try and correct the nitrogen levels now because your lawn's dormant. I would wait till the spring before you introduce a higher nitrogen fertilizer. And what I recommended for him is to use Humic Max as the primary fertilizer that he uses throughout this season. I would still start the season out with the 12-0-24. So I'll show you guys really quick what my recommendations were. Let me go to here. I think I can bring this up. Yeah, so let me get this off the screen. So I told him, based on his soil test results, is for next year, because I'm a fan of using a higher potassium fertilizer to start the season and to end the season. So as the lawn is coming out of like the winter, out of the cold temps, I like to use a bit more, or give the lawn a bit more potassium. So I would start out for him with this, the 12-0-24, and then transition to Humic Max as the primary fertilizer that he uses throughout the season. And then for the micronutrient deficiency, so let's go back to here. So for the micronutrient deficiency, you could go with Nutrizolve. So you can see here he's got his iron, his manganese, copper, boron. They're all low. So that I would correct with Nutrizolve. Let me get this off the screen so you guys can actually see it. I would use this for that in that case, right? So Nutrizolve Stress 12 0 24 to open, and then Humic Max. That's going to be your fertilizer stack. So as far as fertilizer, there's not a whole lot that I would correct now in the soil test. But the one thing he didn't ask about that I did notice is if you look at his pH, right? It's 5.96, which is still in the optimal zone, but it's on the low end of it. So what I told him is if it were me, if this were my lawn, given those levels, because I've actually done, my levels have been look similar to this in the past. If I were him, I would do a lime application because this is a great time of year to do that. You do a lime application, try and bump that pH into closer to the mid sixes, and that's really the optimal zone to where if it shifts throughout the season, you're still going to be in that Goldilocks zone in the mid sixes where turf grass tends to like. Now, when it comes to lime, you guys have heard me talk about this about the calcitic and the dolomitic lime. And the way we can figure out which one we would use is to go scroll down here and look at his magnesium levels. So if you look, his magnesium is fine. So in this case, he would go with a calcitic lime. There's no reason to use a lime product that's going to boost magnesium levels because his magnesium levels are already in good shape. So the thing that I would do if I were him this time of year is, as far as inputs, is I would apply a calcitic lime and then go to the golf course lawn store, make sure you use that discount coupon, and then stock up on one bag of the Stress 12 024, and then as much Humic Max as you plan to use over the course of the season, and as much Nutrizol as you plan to use over the entire season. That is what I would do. But yeah, that pH, again, it's fine. It's not bad, but a 20 pound per thousand lime app, that'll bump that up a little bit more and just put you in a nice spot, and you'll be in a really good place to start 2024. So I told you I would go through your soil test results on the live stream, sir, and I did. I'm a man of my word. So hopefully that is useful to you. I also put it in an email, but I told me, yeah, man, if you send it to me, I'll review it live so other people can benefit from it as well. But yeah, Gerald, once you go out and you send your soil tests in and you get your results, feel free. They should be pretty easy to interpret, as is one of the things I really like about the My Soil Test Kits. But if you have questions, you can always send them to me and I will take a look. Always happy to do that. Happy to do that. Next up, we have Lard Randall. He says, soil test ordered and ready to see what this first year of using proper nutrients says. Very cool. Yeah, man. Well, nice to see what happens, Randall. We got Papa Mo's Low in the live stream. What's going on, Papa Mo's Low? And then Xavier says, are you introducing any new products for 2024? Yes. Oh, you want to know? Can't tell you. Because if I do that, I'm going to jinx myself. I did that last year with the, I actually did that 2 years ago with the organic fertilizer from Miramichi Green, and it took like 9 months to actually get the stuff. So I'm not doing that again. Whenever it's ready and it's available, it's ready and it's available. Yes, but there's going to be some new products on the Golf Course Lawn Store next year. It's not going to be anything that if you guys are, in other words, the staples aren't changing. It's not like if you're buying Humic Max, you're buying any of the fertilizers or any of the micronutrients, you're going to be like, oh, I messed up. I should have waited to get XYZs. Nothing like that. But there are going to be new product offerings, but I'm just not going to talk about them yet because I can't. Because if I tell you what it's going to be, the next question is going to be when, and I can't give you a concrete date, so I'm not going to do that. So the answer is yes. The answer of when, left to be seen. Left to be seen. All right, next up we have Brian. No, not Brian. We have Jared. Jared is back. He says, Ron, if I grab a bag of fertilizer, it's 40 pounds and it's 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Okay, my back, front combined are 2,500 square feet approximately. That should last more than a season, right? I'm not good with quick math. Yeah, so it's 40 pounds per 40-pound bag. So you have a 2,500 square foot lawn. So if you look at like, I think the Stress 12 024 does 10,000 square feet. I think so. Yeah, perfect example. So in your case, you have a 2,500 square foot lawn, right? This 40-pound bag of fertilizer covers up to 10,000 square feet at that rate that we recommend that you apply it at. So you could use one bag and it will cover you for 3 to 4 months. That's what you get. You get 4 months of applications out of it, assuming you applied it at that rate, Jared. So yes, it's not difficult math. The way I would figure it out is take the size of your lawn, which is 2,500 square feet, and then on all the fertilizers that we carry, in the description, you'll see, like, for example, it's 10,000 square feet for the Stresso 024. For Humic Max, it's like 15,000 square feet. So if you go down here and you look at that, within the highlighted areas, you'll see it'll tell you how much coverage you can get out of a single bag. So simply take the size of your lawn, divide it by the amount, or divide the amount of coverage that bag of fertilizer supplies by the size of your lawn, and it'll tell you how many applications you'll get. So hope that helps, sir. In your case, a 40-pound bag of fertilizer is going to cover you for, if it's one of the ones I'm talking about anyway, will cover you for 4 months. 3 to 4 months is what I would budget for. So if you're going to figure out what you're going to use for your entire season, 2 bags is what I would say. That's going to cover you pretty much throughout the growing season if you had that on a 2,500 square foot lawn. So good stuff, sir. Hope that helps. As always, if you have any other questions, let me know. And you're back with another comment, and he said, I've seen people paint it and it looks slick and nice, and I figured it would only look good but prevent rust and have less debris stick. Yeah, so you can't paint the reel. People do that. Like my Toro, I want to say Toro does something to the reels because they are like the coating, whatever they use on my Greensmaster, like I think it's called the Edge Guard, is whatever the new type of reel they have now. So it's a new one they introduced a couple years back. That is painted. The reel is painted black, and the color on it has held very well. So compared to my True Cut, or even like, say for example, even the Owlet, right? The Owlet is a newer mower than my Greensmaster, and the finish, which is probably some kind of a coating they put on it, I don't think it's paint. That coating that's on the Greensmaster reel has held up better than the paint on, or the finish on any of my other mowers. So on the True Cut, it comes off, or it breaks down. On the Owlet, it also does. And but on the Greensmaster, whatever Toro's using to coat those reels, man, it's good stuff. It still looks great. Like if I go and wash the reel off, it looks brand new. It looks awesome. So yeah, but paint can work. Check some of the forums. I've never painted a reel myself, but check some of the forums and see what people are doing as far as paint, or if there's ones that work better than others, and they'll be able to give you some guidance. I would imagine that preparation, like any kind of painting job, preparation is going to be really important, right? So you want to make sure it's clean. You get rid of any oil off of it. So how well you prepare the metal, the surface, is really going to dictate how well the paint adheres. So yeah. So hope that helps, Jared. Let us know what you end up doing on the lawn, on your mower as far as the paint goes. As far as the paint goes, you could call up Toro and ask them. They may not tell you. They'd be like, "We ain't telling you, man. That's a trade secret. You could find out, buy one of our reels, and you can reverse engineer it and figure it out yourself." They probably won't even share that with you. But whatever it is, it definitely works. I'll say that much. All right, Brian Tanner is up next. He says, "Happy Friday, Ron. Looking forward to another great live stream. Got a McLean used reel mower and getting my front roller and backlapping kit tomorrow from Real Roller. So you got a new mower and you're getting a roller for it and a backlapping kit. First of all, let's clap it up for that. I like it. And you know what, Brian? I actually have pictures of your mower, because just like that, you sent them to me. So I'm going to show everyone the new hotness. So look here. So let me get them all queued up here. We'll show off his new to him McLean. All right, let's get that in there. All right, so looking good. They're loading up here. All right, so that's picture one. And guys, so one of the questions you guys asked, let me get Brian's comment off the live stream. So you see he's got a McLean, and one of the questions you guys asked last week, I think it was from Jared or someone else, was, why would you go to a front roller? So if you look at this mower, you see this one has got just the wheels on it. And let's see if we got a better picture I can show you guys. So that's picture one. That's another one. So if you were to keep the mower like this, the mower is going to be a lot more prone to scalping than a mower with a roller on it, for the same reasons that I was talking about last week. So if we go back to this front on shot, this one right here. So if you imagine if you imagine that you're mowing, see the mower's running across the lawn, just living its best life, just, creating the domination that Brian's going to have on his lawn, right? And in his lawn, because he's not top dressed as yet, he's got like a dip. And let's say the right wheel goes into that dip. You can see there's nothing really resisting the mower from tipping or dipping into that uneven spot, which is why, in my opinion, it should almost be criminal to sell a real mower, a powered real mower anyway, without a roller, because it makes a night and day difference. Like if you cut the lawn with this mower, and it's a very uneven lawn, it's going to cut okay, but you're still going to have scalping issues that are going to be. I mean, it's not going to be quite as bad as what a rotary will do, but it's still going to scalp the lawn pretty badly if the lawn is uneven. But as soon as you put that front roller on it, if you look at it, as soon as you put that front roller on it, now you've got the weight of the mower distributed over a much wider surface. So as far as its tendency to dip or do anything funny and follow any undulations, unevenness in the turf, it's going to resist that a lot better. So yeah, good job, Brian, on one, the mower, and then second on getting the front roller and the backlapping kit. Now, which roller did you get? Did you get the grooved roller? Did you go with a smooth roller? Inquiring minds want to know. So if you're still here in the live stream, drop in and let us know if you went grooved, if you went smooth. Let us, keep us filled in. Again, congrats, sir. We're gonna clap up again for you one more time. Congrats on the new kit. Use it in good health. Sounds like you're getting it set up with all the right trimmings. Just make sure you get it sharpened before the beginning of next season, and you're gonna be good to go. We have another super chat. This one is from Mr. LG, the Notorious. He has made his presence known.
Super chat received.
He says, "Hey Ron, now that the lawn is slowing down, wife and kids are expecting me to spend more time with them. Where did I go wrong? And what products should I apply to prevent this from happening again next year?" Why are you trying to get me in trouble with your wife? Listen, man, I have enough issues as it is. I don't want JG coming after me. I mean, she's supportive of your lawn care hobby. She's supportive of you getting whatever mower you want, equipment you want. You can spend a couple of months with the wife and kids. I mean, if it shuts down now, we're in the middle of November. You really only have to do it until March, right? So that's not too bad. It's not too bad. I mean, if you want to try and extend the season, I don't know, man. If you have a way to do that, if you have a way to not let it get too cold to where your lawn begins to go dormant and begins to check out, that's the only thing. I mean, I've seen your lawn. I know your program is on point. So there's not a whole lot I can tell you. And I would just say that it's a good time to embrace doing family stuff. You guys can, do whatever family stuff you like to do, whatever she likes to do. Maybe go to fairs or go antiquing or watch football or watch Formula One. I mean, this weekend, great thing to do, right? Your lawn's checked out. You can watch the Las Vegas Grand Prix. They say it's supposed to be an amazing spectacle. The drivers are already hating it. And they haven't even really, raced yet. But I mean, the comments from the drivers are not good. So there's a lot of drama. So that's fun. You can do that. And yeah, I don't know, man. You're gonna have a hard time convincing me to try and do anything that's gonna make your better half unhappy, because I know she's good people and she supports your lawn care, your lawn care hobby. So I think you should just spend more time with her. That's gonna be my thing. And given that you have given more than Ted, you are now our show sponsor. So whatever that means to you, Mr. LG, we'll get you up here now. Your name in lights. Let me get your son, your son emoji, because heaven help me if I leave that out. You'd be like, "Hey man, that's not me. That's not just me. It's not just LG. It's LG Star. Get it right, yo." That's how it'll be. So there you go. Your name in lights for whatever it means to you. And I don't have anything for you, man. If I had a magic wand, if I could Thanos snap and make the grass grow year round, that would be pretty awesome. But it's not really possible. Not really possible. Not really possible in the US anyway. So thanks again for the super chat, sir. I really do appreciate it. And enjoy the time off. Enjoy the time hanging off with wifey and stuff and kids. All right, next up we have Alan Coatman Jr. Not senior, but junior. Alan Coleman Jr. is in the house. He says, Ron, thanks for answering my questions on the lawn store products today. You are very welcome, sir. Thank you for asking questions. He says, making the switch from a hose and sprayer to backpack sprayer friendly products from the lawn store seems much easier. It is. I can't tell you, like, a lot of people get wrapped around the axle when it comes to liquid products. If they go a backpack sprayer, I got to measure things out and sprayer calibrations and the correct spray tip and all this. And it's really not that complicated. It's really not as hard as people think. And switching to a backpack sprayer opens up or to liquid products anyway, that have to be used in a backpack sprayer, opens up a huge world of product options, combinations that you can use that are pretty sweet, right? Like if you want to go spray Primo Max, you want to use growth regulator on your lawn, you're going to want to use a backpack sprayer. You can't, or at least, or some kind of a pump sprayer. You can't use a hose end sprayer to apply this product. If you want to start mixing your pre-emergence and putting other stuff in the tank along with it, you can do all that with a sprayer, with a backpack sprayer. So we also got the Yard Mastery sprayer back in stock. It's been 3 or 4 days now that it's back in stock. So if you've been eyeing that sprayer, so you've been saying, hey, I want to get a new sprayer and I really like the Yard Mastery one, and you want to save some money on it, now's a great time to do that. You can use the discount code Insider 2024, or just use the link that's the pinned comment in the live stream right now, and you can save some money on what I think is one of the best sprayers that money can buy right now. It's a great sprayer. Like, I own this Flowzone, I own the Chapin, and I own the Yard Mastery, and value for money, I like the Yard Mastery because while I'd say, if I had to compare them, I'd say the Flowzone and it are equivalent in build quality, in like the pump, like the pressure, like all that is very comparable. The nice thing is that the Yard Mastery comes with the assortment of spray tips for both the flood jet tip and the foliar tip, and the adapter that you need to do all that. So for that reason, I like that one more so than the Flowzone, but they're all excellent sprayers. So if you're eyeing one, now would be a great time to pick one up. And as you go to liquid products from your from like hose end type products, right? So whenever you move to like this type of stuff here that we sell, as far as like our fertilizers here, the nice thing that you'll find, Alan, is that for all the products, the measurements are going to be in fluid ounces per 1,000 square feet. So an easy way is anything when it comes to like Release 901C, NutriKelp, or Release Zero, it's going to be 2 to 3 ounces. I'd say 3 ounces per 1,000 square feet. So that means if you have a 4-gallon backpack sprayer, which if you're spraying the way that I recommend, using a dilution rate of 1 gallon of water sprayed over 1,000 square feet, that means that 4-gallon sprayer is going to cover up to 4,000 square feet. So all that means is it's going to be really simple math, and that whenever you go pick a product, like say Release 901C, which will say let's say at 3,000 per 1,000, 3 ounces per 1,000 square feet, right? You would then take that rate and multiply it by 4. So if you're spraying the 901C carbon kit, you would use 12 ounces of Release 901C, you'd use 12 ounces of NutriKelp, and then 1 capsule of BioSpectrum, and away you go. You're good to go, right? So it's as long as you can do basic multiplication, it's not that difficult. And once you get used to, using the sprayer and you have your product stack all worked out, you get a lot more comfortable with it. Where you have to start being more careful is when you get into herbicides. So if you look at like Celsius or Certainty, like you have to, like the measurements for herbicides they tend to be a lot smaller. So take, for example, so I can show you guys this. So whereas you take a product like Release 901C, right? Which would be 3 ounces per 1,000 is a rate that I like. It's a good Goldilocks rate, right? And if you were doing that over 4,000 square feet, you use 12 ounces. So say you're spraying now Celsius, right? So you're gonna be like doing a renovation on a lawn, you're doing some blanket spraying, and you need 4,000 square feet's worth of herbicide. When it comes to herbicides, something like Celsius, you would be using like this much of it. Let me see if I can actually get this to focus. Yeah. So the rate on Celsius is 0.45 ounces. So if you're looking at this, once it comes in, there we go. So like do this backwards, right over there, like that mark is like that little amount is what's going to go into 4 gallons of water. So as long as you measure accurately, you respect the label, you're not going to have a difficult time when it comes to liquid products. I mean, the most important thing that you can do when you do move to a backpack sprayer is to calibrate it. And if you've not done that, I've got what I think is a pretty good video that a lot of people seem to like on how to calibrate your sprayer. And it's got, it's one that shows like 99%. Let me see this one right here. Yeah, this video that I'm linking right here. Like, watch this video. It's all of 3 minutes and 51 seconds. You don't even have to watch the entire thing, but it gives you the process of figuring out what kind of walking pace you need to have to output 1 gallon of product over 1,000 square feet. That is the only difficult aspect for someone that's brand new to using a sprayer. Once you figure that out, then it becomes easy peasy lemon squeezy, you know, when you're off for the races. So if you want that video, I'll link it to you right here. How to calibrate a sprayer. So when you get a brand new sprayer, that's what you'll use. And it is per spray tip. So if you have like a T-Jet, well, yes and no. It's if you have a foliar spray tip, unless you get a flood jet tip that is also rated at the same flow rate, you're going to want to do the calibration again. So really, you'd only have to do it 2 times. One for whatever spray tip you use for spraying foliar products, and then one for whatever you use for spraying like soil-based products like fungicide, insecticide, pre-emergent, that type of stuff. So not super hard. Watch that video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I'll help you out. But yeah, congrats on moving from a hose end sprayer. You're graduating to the big leagues to a backpack sprayer because you're going to really like the flexibility that it gives you. All right. Next is Jared. He's back. He says, recently saw some very close-up photos of St. Augustine lawn. Other than the curved blade tips, it looks similar to common Bermuda. Kind of, I can see that. I mean, yeah, sort of. Does St. Augustine grow wild at all, or is only sod plugs? I don't know if it grows wild, but if you're trying to establish it, it's only with sod or plugs. Like St. Augustine grass seed isn't really a thing. And I've not heard it really compared to common Bermuda. I have seen it compared to crabgrass. And for those of you that have St. Augustine lawns, don't send me hate mail and be mad at me. But to me, like it's more comparable. Like the leaf is more comparable in like visually to crabgrass than to common Bermuda. I get what you're saying, that common Bermuda leaf tends to be a bit thicker, but it doesn't it doesn't stand up. It doesn't grow like as tall as like how St. Augustine does. But yeah. And as far as it growing wild, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. All right. Next is Alex Zamora. He says, hey, Ron, if I want to seed next season for renovation into Monaco, how long do I wait after glyphosate to seed? I would give it 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks, Alex. So if your existing lawn is Bermuda and you're trying to get rid of it and then move with Monaco, what I would use is I would use glyphosate, and I would also use Fusilade 2. So glyphosate by itself, one pass of glyphosate isn't really going to do the trick for getting rid of Bermuda in one go. The combination that I found, the herbicide stack that I found that works very well against Bermuda, where it's really a one and done, is to combine a glyphosate product of your choice. Like I've used Eraser or Ranger Pro, any of those, with Fusilade. So Fusilade 2, combine that with your glyphosate, and that will absolutely smoke the Bermuda. And then, 3 weeks after the fact, you can rake it out and then do your renovation. That is what I would do. I'm answering this question assuming that Bermuda is your existing lawn, and you're just trying to get rid of it, and you're trying to start over. But to answer it, 3 weeks after that process is done is when you could look to introduce the new grass seed. Good question. So that's a good one. And the thing to keep in mind, Alex, if you are going to trying to establish a Bermuda lawn from grass seed, the timing is pretty important. So most Bermuda grass seed, like at least for Princess 77 and for Arden 15, the label said that you want to sow the seed, you want to plant the seed when soil temperatures are in the mid 60s and trending warmer. So in Northeast Georgia, that's late April, early May timeframe. Wherever you are, just find out whatever the average soil temperature is going to be in your area, and then based on that, you can sow. You can plant your grass seed accordingly. And then the other tip I'd give you is make sure you account for the amount of water you're going to need, because most seeding projects fail because people fail to adequately water the grass seed. They just, they first apply it, they water it for the first day or two, and then just leave it and expect it to germinate. And that's really not going to happen. You need to plan for, up to 3 weeks, but really between 2 to 3 weeks of daily watering, not allowing the grass seed to dry out for you to get the best germination. So just something to keep in mind as you plan for doing your Monaco renovation next year. Sounds like fun. I would still try and encourage you, unless you're sold on doing Bermuda grass from seed, is just to get sod, man. Like, do the same process, get rid of your existing grass, and then go the sod route. It's like so much easier. Like, you kill off the existing lawn, and then you literally go from no lawn to lawn, right? And then you just water it. It's gonna, as far as it coming in evenly, sod is a lot easier. You just go from like zero lawn to awesome lawn much faster with sod versus grass seed. And also, like, if you go with sod, you're also able to get like some of the nice cooler cultivars. So like Tahoma 31, Tiff Tough, Tiff Green. Like, there's a lot of really nice Bermudas where you have like a finer leaf that are only available in sod form. So that's another reason to consider sod over the grass seed. So in other words, if your lawn is less than 15,000 square feet, I would really opt for the sod route, because once you get above that, it starts to get kind of cost prohibitive. But really, if it's a smaller lawn, sod is, in my opinion, the way to go, especially if you're going to go with Bermuda, because you have access to some of the prettier Bermuda types. So something else to consider. You still got time because you're not doing it until next year. So something to keep in mind. Higgy pops up next. He says, let's all hit the like button. It's free. Let's do that, guys. I'm going to throw on some LG intermission music while I can take a sip of my Arnold Palmer and mint blend. And for the 83 of you guys here in the live stream, if you would not mind hitting that like button ever so gently, I'd really appreciate it, because it costs you absolutely nothing. It's a great way to support the channel. All right, next up we have Jared. He says, Ron, what kind of music is it? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. What kind of music is what? I don't know what you mean. Ask your question a different way. Like, what kind of music? Are you asking what kind of music I like, or what kind of music is what? Like Tango Bolero that's the name of that that's not actually the name of it. That's what LG calls it. But yeah, if you ask me what kind of music I like a bit of everything, really. I like a little bit of everything. Everything from like Rob Zombie to Lee Retner. So like, I listen to jazz, I listen to a bit of everything. Just depends on what I'm feeling like. I like Dire Straits. Dire Straits, like Brothers in Arms, was the first CD that I ever owned, so I'm kind of partial to that one. That's the first actual CD that I ever owned. So I do like Dire Straits. So all right, next up is Mr. Mark Romano. He says, give the like button a bump if you don't want weeds. I wish that were true, but yeah, give it a bump anyway to support the channel. There is that. And thank you so much, Mark. I did get the thing that you sent to me, so appreciate that. It's pretty hilarious. And you are very welcome, Ted. He says, you prick, bro. Next spring or fall, I follow you. It's your call. As good as the lawn looks, I would lean towards spring. Just go out at a low rate. Don't go, like, I think the rate for cool season grass is like for prodiamine is like 0.55. Let me tell you here. I don't want to tell you lies, Todd. So Ted, let me look here. Barricade 65 WDG. In the water dispersible granule variant. What saith the label for fescue? Because I don't know off the top of my head. I know what it is for Bermuda. So for fescue, fine fescue, it is, yeah, so it's 0.42. 0.42 is the annual limit. For let's see here. Well, no, I don't know, because it depends which do you have, Ted. If it's tall fescue, so if it's fine fescue, it's 0.42. If it's tall fescue, it's the same thing as Bermuda grass. It goes as high as 0.8 as going as high as 0.83. So if you decided, like say next year, you say, you know what, I'm not going to do anything. I mean, we're obviously not doing it in the fall. Like the fall is out. If you decide you wanted to do it in the spring, I would lean like I'd go out at a rate of like 0.2 dry ounces per 1,000 square feet. That is very much on the low end for prodiamine. I would do a single application at that low rate. That's going to get you some control, and you're also minimizing the chance of causing injury to your gorgeous tall fescue lawn. So I'm looking at the label here right in front of me. It shows, it shows 0.185 all the way up to it shows point. Yeah, so if you have fine fescue, it shows 0.185 up to 0.42. If you have fine fescue, for tall fescue, it shows 0.36 all the way up to 0.83. So depending on which one you have, read the label and stick to the lower end of that. Stick to the lower, bias to the lower end of the rate for your fescue type. I'm not sure if you told me if you had fine fescue or tall, but the rates are different. If it's fine, 0.20 is what I would say per 1,000, because that's the low end for that. If it's tall fescue, 0.4, so half, so 0.40 ounces is the low end for turf type tall fescue, and call it good. Don't go anywhere near the limits, and that's gonna get you some coverage while minimizing the chance of any kind of injury to the lawn. That is what I would opt for, Ted. That's what I would opt for. It's gonna prevent you from driving yourself crazy fighting crabgrass all summer. So that's the one benefit of getting a spring pre-emergent app down, even if it is at the lower rates. All right, so I have a question or a comment here from Nepets 2609. He says, "Hope you have a wonderful stream, Ron. I'll be catching the replay on YouTube." Nice, thank you so much, Nepets. I really appreciate that. Thanks for all the love and support. And then next up is Jared George. We have a short live stream tonight, guys. Jared George, he says, "Want to help my dad with his cool season, mostly lawn." Okay, so he's got a cool season plant. He's got cool season plant life in his yard. His cool season mostly lawn. He has one portion of his lawn that has a lot of dead crabgrass. So no pre-emergent on that part, and dig up the dead crabgrass and reseed in the spring. Yeah, that sounds like a plan, Jared. You can get rid of the crabgrass and then seed in the spring if that's the way that you decide you want to go. Yes. In other words, if your plan is to grow grass from seed, you want to avoid pre-emergent. That's the short answer to the question. That is the short answer. And then next up is Anthony Rivas. Anthony Rivas is in the live stream. He says, "Hey, Ron. We just had a downpour yesterday with about 5 inches of rain." Where do you get 5 inches of rain? You must be in Florida somewhere. I know I have some friends that are in Orlando and also in Tampa area, and they got a lot of rainfall. He says, "Had 5 inches of rain. I applied for 2 weeks ago. Should I reapply fertilizer, or should I wait till next month? I live in South Florida and have Bermuda." You're fine. I wouldn't worry about it. You applied the fertilizer 2 weeks ago. It rains practically every afternoon in Florida. It rains fairly frequently there. So the fertilizer has already long been watered into the lawn. Into the soil. I really wouldn't worry about it. You're gonna be just fine. I would wait until your next scheduled fertilizer application, which, if you're doing it the way I recommend for spoon feeding, is every 4 weeks. So to answer your question, no, I would not do a mid-cycle application. I would wait until 4 weeks have elapsed and then do your next fertilizer app. The rain that you got 2 weeks after your initial app is not gonna hurt anything. You're gonna be just fine. You're gonna be just fine. I mean, the whole thing of like water washing out washing out rain or that kind of thing is not. It's really overblown by people. More people make more of it than they think. Than they really should. So what I would say is this, Anthony, a good way of testing is if you had, with the 5 inches of rain that you had, did you lose a bunch of soil in your lawn? So like the rainfall, did it like literally wash like an entire layer, a bunch of the topsoil in your lawn off the lawn? If the answer is no, which I'm pretty sure it is, then you don't really have a whole lot to worry about. The fertilizer's still there, still working. You're still good. No need to do an extra app just because of some heavy rainfall. All right, next is Larry. He says, "Thanks, Ron. When do you suggest I do another application and I'll get a better spreader?" I'm not trying to hate on your spreader. I'm just saying, here's the thing, Larry. I'm not trying to hate on your spreader. But I mean, given how nice the lawn is, I mean, look how nice that fescue lawn is. And here's the thing: it's not Bermuda, and even with it not being Bermuda, it still looks really good. I look at the color, I look at the depth of color in the areas where the fertilizer was applied properly, and I just think in my mind's eye, if it were evenly applied over that entire lawn, it'd be fake. It'd be like Disney green. It had that really nice emerald green across the entire lawn. So yeah, that's what I would say for next time. Unless you're going to improve your technique with the handheld, I would say just go for go get yourself an Earthway and call it good. An Earthway 2050p. That is my recommendation. Final answer. So if you're looking for one, I think I've got a link for that here that I can show you. But it's the one that you see me using in all my videos. They're great spreaders, and as long as you don't Loctite the wing nuts, there's 2 wing nuts that hold the handle in place. So if you want to, you can just loosen those, and the handle folds over the hopper, and then it gets really compact for storing in your garage if you're limited on space. But the Earthway 2050p, Earthway 2050p is the one that I would go with if I were you. Great bit of kit. Great spreader. Great spreader. That is the one that I would do. And as far as another application, 4 weeks. 4 weeks. I mean, your lawn still looks, I'm not sure what part of the country you're in, but your lawn still looks great. If you're not going to get snow or any kind of wrong person, if you're not going to get snow or any kind of frost anytime soon, then I would continue feeding it. In other words, as long as the grass is actively growing, you're still out there mowing it regularly, then continue to feed it. So you've got likely at least another application in you before the season shuts down. Again, depending on where you are in the country. Good stuff though. The lawn looks awesome. If we just get a more even fertilizer app, be on your way. And the thing is, it looks like you're on a corner too. It looks like you're on a corner, Larry. So if you are, yeah, you are on a corner. All the more reason. Here's the thing, Larry. Let's just take a sidebar here. If your lawn is in a cul-de-sac, or if you're on a corner, here's the thing, you're representing all the rest of us in the lawn game, because people see your lawn coming down 2 different streets. If there's a stop sign there, they got to stop and look around before they're moving. So you are representative of all that is awesome when it comes to lawn care. So your lawn really needs to shine and represent. So I'm not trying to put pressure on you, but given that from what I'm seeing here, it looks like you are on a corner, we got to step it up, man. I mean, the lawn looks too good to not have that nice even color. So just something to consider for your next application, for your next acquisition. Now that you got the lawn done, you got your fertilizer covered, you got your carbon kit, get yourself a good spreader, and you're going to be on your way. And the nice thing is there are settings on the bag for the Earthway 2050p. I can tell you a setting of 9 to 10 works really well. If you're using the Stress 12024 or the Complete 14714, and if you're using Humic Max, you can go up to like 12. That works well too. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. But the Earthway 2050p is the one that I would tell you to get, because it's a great spreader. I really like mine. Next up is Mr. Gary Freeman. G-Free. He says, "Hey Ron, what's going on? Hashtag Stripe Action Gang." Hey Gary, thanks for stopping by to say hello. Appreciate you as always. And then next is RV18. He says, "Hey Ron, I'm in Texas." Hang on, I gotta take my time, because when it comes to folks in Texas, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's either gonna be too hot, too cold, or my soil test says has high calcium and I can't get it to come down. But let's see what RV18's comment is. He says, "I'm in Texas and I put down my September-October lawn fungicide apps with Pillar SC. My question is, we've had a couple of nice rains and my Bermuda lawn has a bunch of white circle spots. Fungus? I'd have to see pictures of it. It could be white circular spots. You got to send me a picture. Send me a picture of it if you can, man. This is my email, ron@golfcoursalon.com. A bunch of white circle spots. If you're talking about if they look like cobwebs, if they look like little cobwebs, I don't have a picture of Dollar Spot here. On the store, we might have, I think we have, yeah, I'm pretty sure we have like a common lawn diseases in the knowledge base. But if it looks like little cobwebs, then if it looks like little cobwebs, it could be Dollar Spot. And in that case, a fungicide app, you did one in September, So do one more. I'm a fan of doing 2 fungicide apps in the fall. So if you've only done one, you can always do a second one, and then that will knock it out. But yeah, if you're by the white circles, you mean white like cobweb looking things, then that sounds potentially like dollar spot. If your lawn is getting enough nitrogen, like in other words, on Bermuda grass, dollar spot even if you see it, it normally doesn't cause damage on Bermuda, assuming that the lawn is getting enough nitrogen. Like I get, I may see like those little cobwebs on my lawn throughout the season in the morning time, but they never really materialize into anything. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to find a picture here really quick to be able to show you. That's necrotic ring. If it looks something, yeah, that's a picture of dollar spot. This is a picture of the damage of it. But if it looks kind of, this is snow mold, but if it looks kind of like this, let me get this, this blog post up here. If it looks kind of like this, but smaller, so that's the damage from dollar spot. But if it looks kind of like, imagine this, but in smaller pieces, like little cobwebs, kind of like that on the lawn, that could be dollar spot. And again, if all you care about is treating that, you could use propiconazole. That will take care of it. But if you have Pillar SC, it will also decimate dollar spot. So the 2 active ingredients in it, they will take care of dollar spot as well. So you've already got Pillar. I would just use that. I would just do another application of that and call it good. It sounds like you did one fungicide app in September, October, another one in November, which is what I did on my lawn. I think that's cheap insurance, and especially if you're seeing some stuff going on, I would do another one. It's better to err on the side of caution versus letting whatever is going on in your lawn get worse. But if you want to, you can send me an email. Again, my email is ron@golfcourselawn.com. I'll take a look at the pictures and let you know what I think. And yeah, good stuff, man. So there you go, RV 18. You've proven me wrong. Because with Texas folks, it's normally not enough water, too much water, or my calcium, my soil test is super high. But no, in this case, it's a disease problem. So see, you've broken what the norm is from the folks in Texas. And here's the thing: don't think I'm just giving you guys in Texas a hard time, because I have family that live in the Houston area. So I like to give the folks in Texas a hard time. I'm an Astros fan. As far as when I was really into baseball, that's how I used to like. My dad was an Astros fan, or he still is an Astros fan. So by definition, I'm also an Astros fan. And I actually like the Texans too, because I got Stroud in my fantasy league, and he's been doing really good. So I as far as sports, I'm liking how the folks in Texas are doing right now. They just won the series, World Series. So yeah, Texas is getting it done when it comes to sports. All right, next up is Joe Cox. Joe says, good evening. Just tuning in. I'm here in Mississippi, and we are just now getting rain. Is it too late to apply pre-emergent? No, Joe, it's not too late. If you're asking me when I would have suggested you apply it, would have been September, October timeframe, but it's still going to be better to get it down. You're still going to get, in other words, you're going to have less weeds in your lawn in the months to come if you apply pre-emergent now versus not doing anything at all. Pre-emergent works best, kind of as the name implies, prior to the weeds emerging, but you can still apply your pre-emergent now, and you're still going to get some benefits from it. Again, much better than had you not done anything. So the answer to the question is yes, I would still apply pre-emergent. If you're looking for some options for pre-emergent, if you go to shop and weed killer on the golf course lawn store, and then search for pre-emergent, filter right here, you've got Spectacle Flow. If you've got warm season grass, which is awesome, by the way, it's awesome product. You've got prodiamine and dithiopyr available in granular and prodiamine in liquid form if you want that. So you've got different options that we carry for pre-emergent. And to answer your question, yes, I would apply it now, even though it is a little bit later than I would have done it. So hope that helps. Hope that helps, sir. And I'll send you a link here to where you can pick that up on the Golf Course Lawn Store. And I see I got a couple of super chats here that I got to go take care of. Make sure to take care of that, because I don't want folks being like, hey man, what's going on? You're ignoring me. Where's the love? So we got a super chat now from Mr. Lance
Super
F.
chat received.
He says, Ron, have you heard of ProGrass EC to kill POA on cool season grass? It's expensive. It claims to do this. Yes, I have heard of ProGrass EC. I have heard that it kills Poa annua. However, unless I'm mistaken, let me make sure I'm not telling you lies here. I don't think it's labeled or for when you're spraying on a residential lawn, like people that aren't licensed aren't supposed to be spraying it. I don't believe. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you here. ProGrass EC. You're right. It is not cheap. But it is it's only for it's only supposed to be applied by licensed or certified applicators. So yeah, I mean, literally it says here, I'm looking here, ProGrass EC is not intended for use by homeowners. So if you are a licensed applicator, so you went out, you took the test for your state and you're a licensed applicator and you want to use ProGrass on your residential lawn, by all means go for it. I can't speak to the effectiveness of it because I don't have a cool season lawn. I've never tried it. But it is expensive. I mean, you're talking almost $700, like 670 for a bottle of this stuff. So it's not cheap. So yeah, I can't speak to the effectiveness of it. I don't know if Devin is here in the live stream, if he's used it. I know that, in golf courses, he's got a cool season, or like all the turf on his course is cool season grass. I don't know if he has an experience with ProGrass EC. But it is labeled to control POA. You are right. But it's also, like in big bold letters, says that homeowners aren't supposed to use it. You're supposed to actually be a licensed applicator to use it on your residential lawn. So there is that. And you got another super chat. Thank you so much, Lance.
Super chat received.
I guess you're just trying to get my attention. So yeah, I mean, try it out. I had another viewer that asked me about this product. They were, and I think it's because of the label. Like I read the label. The label on it is not the most clear. Let me see if I can pull it up here really quick. Because there's special timing you have to do, or not special, but there's timing involved with getting good control, which is probably why they don't want homeowners doing it. It's not like a single. It's not a single application to control it like it would be with, like, say, Certainty. And then the timing between applications matters for you to get a good result. So I have a viewer that sent me this label saying, hey man, can you help me figure out how I would apply this on my lawn? I started reading them saying, why are you applying this on your lawn? But at any rate, that's what I do remember about this product. That it's supposed to treat POA, but it's not a one and done. And the timing of how and when you apply it matters for the results that you get. So hope that helps. It's supposed to take care of it, but I can't tell you from experience how well it does. Given the price, I should hope that it works pretty well. And thank you so much for the super chat, Lance. Appreciate all of the love and support. All right. Next up is Garrett. He says, thank you. You're very welcome, Garrett. And next up, we have Mr. Alexander Lee in the house. He says, oh, you want to know? I'm not sure. What do you mean? I don't know. Yeah, I want to know. Whatever it is, I want to know. Alex, don't leave me hanging here, man. What are we talking about? And then next up is Bradley F. He says powder coat would hold up better than paint. Yeah, so you could do powder coating, but you're not going to want to powder coat that leading edge. So if you decide you want to powder coat your reel, again, the preparation really matters, is super important with that. But you don't want to powder coat like the edge, the cutting edge. Like give it like a quarter of an inch or so away from that cutting edge. Don't powder coat all the way up to the end. I would not do that. And then Brian Tanner says, I followed your advice and went grooved. My man, I like it. Grooved rollers are, I tell you, there's not much reason I would think to not go grooved over smooth. I like the cut with grooved better. When you go lower, it cuts better. Just overall, I think grooved has a ton of benefits. The only saving grace I would say for a solid roller is if you got to turn a lot, or say you're trying to like mow around, like so you got a tree in your yard, or you have beds in your yard, and you're trying to follow curves, a smooth roller on the reel mower does turn easier than a grooved roller does. I mean, it's not like a night and day, like, oh my goodness, I can't turn the grooved roller because it's biting into the turf so much harder. But a smooth roller does turn or go around corners better than a smooth without, I don't want to say tearing at the turf, but without pulling any of it up. You know what I mean? So if you're trying to, in other words, if you're trying to mow circles in your lawn, a smooth roller would be a better choice than a grooved roller would be. But outside of that, grooved every day and twice on Sunday, in my opinion. Papa Moslow is in the house. He says, happy Friday. I mean, Thursday, sir. Thank you for the feedback on my soul test. I appreciate you. Yeah, man, no worries, Papa Moslow. I mean, the same thing, the same way I answered on the live stream, and also when I looked at the results, it still holds. I think in your case, your magnesium was low. So we said a dolomitic lime app, and I forget which one of your macros were off kilter, but you know, like the same advice I gave you on the live stream holds based on what I saw from the email that you sent to me. And who knows, guys? I mean, even though I'm going to the concert tomorrow night, it's only from 7 to 9. So if I get back early enough and I, feel like jumping on, I might jump on for a little bit and just say hi to you guys. And I mean, it won't be a scheduled live stream. I'll just go on if I come on, and you guys will be able to say, hey, how was the thing? And I'll be like, hey, it was awesome. He rocked out, And if you guys are interested, again, if you're in the Northeast Georgia area, and you feel like supporting a positive young person that's a musician that's up and coming, Sammy's event is at the Stag Lounge tomorrow night, November 17th, 7 to 9 p.m. in Gainesville, Georgia. Basement Colors. You can hear his new album release party. So feel free to actually it's just to RSVP, but I mean I guess just call and say, hey, I'm coming to your thing, and it should be okay, I guess. I guess they probably want to RSVP to know if there's enough pizza, but yeah, even if you don't eat, you can still come by. Be kind of cool. All right, next is who do I have next? James Kelly. Jim Kelly. What did Jim Kelly? He also, I think that was the name of the guy that led Skunkworks when they were building the SR-71. I think that's right. I think it's SR-71. I think. No, Kelly Johnson, not James Kelly. I know it was a Kelly Johnson, not James Kelly. I was thinking about the guy that was that led Skunkworks way back when. All right, anyway, James says, I have been doing a test plot of Poanua with Primo Max, and it has stopped the seed heads, and it looks good. I'm thinking on doing that on a bigger scale in 2024. What do you think? Backyard first. Yeah, so that's definitely a strategy, James. That's a great question or comment. So if actually on the label for Primo Max, one of the things it does talk about is that it's excellent for seed head suppression in Poanua. It's also good for seed head suppression in Bermuda grass too, but on Poanua it works especially well. Because if you think about it, when it comes to controlling Poanua after the fact in a cool season lawn, there's not a lot of great post-emergent options. But if you can just simply mask the seed head so where you don't have like these white flowers all throughout the lawn, then it's going to look a lot less apparent. It's not going to stick out quite as much. So it is a strategy to absolutely use Primo as a way to, I guess, live with POA in a cool season lawn. So yes, I mean that the one use case, what you're doing, it's actually called out as a use case for this product on the label. So I'm not surprised you're getting good results with it, and I would do that. There's no problem with doing that at all. I'll see if I can pull the label up and actually find it for you, where it talks about using Primo for Poanua suppression or seed head suppression. Not suppressing Poanua, suppressing the seed heads. I want to make sure I say it right. Oh, Primo will kill Poanua. No, it won't kill Poanua, but it'll make it to where you don't see it as much. Product label. Okay. Let me see. POA and here we go. Yep, here we go. So on the label of Primo, if you look here, it actually talks about, there's an entire section, like the folks at Syngenta says, hey, listen, in addition to this being pretty awesome at slowing down how fast your grass grows, you can also use it to do this. So read this section. It gives you options or tells you as far as application rates and timing for getting the best result with it. But yes, what you are doing, James, you're not breaking new ground. It's actually a use case for Primo Max in cool season turf. So yes, go for it. Do it to it, man. Do it to it. Let it make sure what you're doing is going to be just fine, and keep us posted as far as the results you get. I imagine that they'll be good. They will be good. I mean, that's the second best thing, right? The only thing better than not having Poanua in your lawn in the first place is not really being able to easily tell that Poanua is in your lawn. So that's the route that you're taking, it looks like. Next up is G7 Films. He says, Ron, what can I put down for clover control while in dormancy? I need to keep the deer out of out of the lawn, out of the all-you-can-eat buffet. Depending on what kind of grass you have, there's a lot of different herbicides that will kill clover. I think if it's a cool season lawn, Tenacity will control clover. I believe Triad will also control clover. Let me see here. Because if your lawn's dormant, but then the clover's still growing, that's a perfect scenario, right? Because now you don't have to really worry about causing stress or any potential injury to your turf grass, but you're still going to control the weed that you want to get rid of. So let me check the label here really quick, and I'll tell you if clover is on there. I think it is. I think it is. Yep, it is. Sure is. Right there. Right there. Yeah, right there. It's on the label. So yeah, so what you could go with is this product, G7 Films, is Triad Select. So this is safe for use on warm season turf and cool season turf grass types. And with your lawn being dormant, even better, even less, practically little to no chance of causing injury. And per the label, it is labeled to control clover. So, and it's not going to break the bank either. So there you go. So that is what I would that's what I would use. And I'll send you a link to that right here, right now, live and direct, so you can get all set up for controlling that clover in your lawn. It's funny. There's a YouTuber I know called G7 Films that does he does like camera gear reviews. He films. I forget where he is. I'm not sure if he's in Florida or whatever. He films like a lot of like races and that kind of thing. I'm not sure if you're the same guy. But his name is G7 Films, and it might be you. But anyway, here's a link to Triad Select, so you can grab it right there. If you want to save some money, feel free to use the discount code Insider2024. The link that's the pinned comment there on in YouTube. It's going to be a way for you to save a little bit on the products on the Golf Course Lawn Store for a limited time. All right, so let me 128 and G7. All right. Next up is Jacob Madrid. Jacob Madrid. Did I skip? I feel like I skipped somebody. Maybe I didn't. If I did, I'm sure you guys will yell at me. So anyway, Jacob Madrid is up next. He says, "Good evening. My results for my soil test are showing low nitrogen and low potassium. Is it too late in the season for one last fertilizer app? Bermuda is not yet dormant here in Phoenix, Arizona. Temps are in the 80s in the day for the highs and 60s. Soil temp is 77. Nope, not too late at all. By all means, go for it. Go for it. You sounds like your grass is still growing, and if you're trying to bump up the N and K, I'm going to show you two options, Jacob. So option one, if you go to the Golf Course Lawn Store, go to shop and then to lawn fertilizer. You can either go with Humic Max, which is what I primarily use throughout the growing season, or you could go with the Stress 12024. Both of these fit the bill of having nitrogen and potassium. It just depends on how much potassium your soil needs. If you need a hierarchy of K, go with the Stress. And frankly, if it's going to be your last feeding of the season, I would go with the Stress 12024. Like I'm a fan of closing out the season with a higher potassium fertilizer. So this would be my my choice between the two of them for this time of year. Either one will work well, but this is the one that I would go with if it were me, and you're looking to boost your nitrogen and potassium levels late in the fall. And I'll send you a link to that to save you some time. So at Jacob Madrid, there you go. So you can pick that up. And yeah, but you being in Arizona, it's high still in the 80s. Yeah, you're good to still apply fertilizer. No problem at all. Jonathan Camarado is up next and says, "Happy Thursday and early Thanksgiving. Will you be enjoying turkey, ham, or neither? I'm smoking a turkey. I'll pass on the ham." Here's the thing, and I'm probably in the minority on this. I actually don't really like Thanksgiving food that much. Like I don't really like turkey. For me, it's a bit, and again, I've probably not had it done right, but for me, it tastes a bit, it's kind of, as far as like a bird, it tastes a bit more gamey. So I'm just not a fan of the way of turkey that much. Ham is okay. I don't know. I don't really like Thanksgiving food that much. I'll tell you, and it's gonna make me sound ghetto, but I will tell you that like the best turkey that I like that actually I'll have is so Popeyes Here we go. But Popeye's chicken, they make like the crazy chicken sandwich that people were all going wild about in years past. In the local ones around here anyway, leading up to Thanksgiving, you can actually order a turkey from them. And I'm not sure if they deep fry it ahead of time or whatever it is, but it's already good to go to where all you have to do is take it out of, it's given to you frozen when you schedule to pick it up. And you just take it home and you heat it up and it's really good. So that's the one time I've had turkey and I actually liked it. But outside of that, I'm not really a huge fan of turkey. I've never had it like I know some of my friends they deep fry it. They get like a big pot. They take it outside in the driveway and they fry it. I've never had it done that way, and I imagine if I did, it would be closer to what like the Popeyes turkey tastes like. But the traditional way of doing turkey, where they do the stuffing and they bake it, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, here's the thing: I'm from the Caribbean, so if I could have red beans, rice, and chicken on Thanksgiving, I'd be good to go with some plantain on the side. Good to go. I'd be happy with that. I don't like a lot of the traditional Thanksgiving foods. I didn't grow up with it, and I don't particularly like the way most of it tastes. So that's why I don't want to be doing. Out of those two, though, probably if I had to choose, if I can't have like the Popeyes turkey, then ham, I guess. Ham, as long as it's not too salty. But I realize I'm in the minority on that one. So, all right, next up is the Unknown Mister says, good evening, Ron. If you had your pick, would you get a John Deere 220E or 220 SL? I don't know the John Deere mowers that well, Mr. Unknown, so I don't know the difference between them, so I couldn't tell you. You know what? We got time. Let me see here. What's the JD 220E? What's the difference between them? The E-Cut hybrid, so I guess it's partially battery powered. Okay. And the other one is, what are we talking about? The 220 SL. So it's probably the same with a cut, but one is just straight gas, and the other one is battery powered or like a hybrid. I don't know. You're probably not going to go wrong with either of them, man. The only thing when it comes to the hybrid, as long as it's the people that have them, I imagine you can be getting one pre-owned, as long as there's not like maintenance headaches with them, then you could go the hybrid route. But I mean, that'd be my only concern with going with the E-Cut. If they're built rock solid and you don't really have any issues with them, they run and there's no concerns with the hybrid power unit, then going with the electric or the hybrid version would be kind of cool. But I wouldn't want to go out and get one and then have to have a really expensive repair bill of something and it breaks, right? So the thing is, I don't know the John Deere mowers like I do the Toros. I've never even mowed with a John Deere to be able to tell you, how they perform. I imagine from a cut quality, they're likely going to be the same. It's just a matter of whether you want a simpler setup like just a traditional gas powered one, or one that is that's like a hybrid. So I don't know. Check on the forums. I'm sure there's some forums, there's Facebook groups. Ask folks that actually have one of them and see what they think. But if the E-Cut is just as reliable as the gas powered one, then why not go for the electric one? Why not go for the one that's kind of get the hybrid? You'll use less fuel, better for the environment, and also kind of cool, right? It's got more cool points. So hope that helps. I would just do some more research, and if they're equivalent and the price is the same, that's another thing too. Which one is cheaper? If the price is the same between them, then hybrid, assuming you're not going to run into a bunch of maintenance headaches with it down the road. All right, next up we have Ben Rayham. He says, having done Bermuda renovations from seed, the next time will be sod. The pain is real. Yep. Folks are like, oh yeah, I also got this one bag of grass seed. It's not going to be that expensive. This is a cheaper way of installing Bermuda grass. I mean, the amount of water you have to use to establish a lawn from grass seed is quite a bit more than sod. And it's just a headache. It's just because even if you do it right, like even ask, if you don't believe me, ask Ted Rogers. He's in the live stream right now, or ask anyone that's grown a grass from seed. And they'll tell you that in most people's minds that have never grown a new lawn from seed, they're thinking, you know what? I do all my preparation work. I put down the grass seed, I water it in, and then over time I'm watching and the lawn just evenly all grows up in this beautiful symphony, and it just comes together just like magic. And it doesn't really work that way. What you're going to find is there's going to be one area that's going to take off and start to grow in really nicely. And there's going to be other areas that are going to lag behind. And you're going to be wondering, oh, well, what's happening with the grass here? Why is this lagging behind? So it's not like the hassle factor is just a lot more for when it comes to grass seed versus sod. And I think for most residential homeowners, especially if you're not just doing it just for fun, or you just it's like an experiment, you just enjoy like changing your lawn, doing renovation work on your lawn all the time, like most people would be much happier going with sod than with grass seed, because when you factor in the fact that you go from no lawn to lawn pretty much overnight when you do the sod route, and the fact that sod establishes easier than grass seed, I think it's just a better choice for most people. And if you're doing Bermuda, like the really cool, the nicer cultivars are only available in sods. If you want to be one of the cool kids and be like, hey, I got like the Tahoma 31 that everyone's raving about, or I got Tiff Tough, or I got Tiff Green, or I got any of the nice fine leaf Bermuda grasses, those are only available in sod. So it's another feather in the hat for going with the sod route versus the seed route. But if you're glutton for punishment, if you're someone that when you first started playing Street Fighter, you automatically jump to hard mode, if that's you, then by all means go for the seed route. You have a lot of fun with it. If you're that kind of guy or gal, if hard mode sounds like fun to you, then do grass seed. All right, next up is Chris Napoli. He says, I have Bermuda in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm removing a tree from the middle of the yard. Should I seed, sod, or let it repair itself? Great question, Chris. What I would say is, if you want to ensure that the grass that grows in where the tree used to be matches the rest of the lawn perfectly, I wouldn't do seed or sod. What I would do is transfer plugs from your existing lawn into the area where the tree used to be. That way you're growing essentially the same grasses throughout the rest of the lawn, and there's no question that it's going to match. So I wouldn't do seed. I wouldn't do sod. Repair itself naturally is pretty much what I'm saying, but the way you can speed that up is getting a tool called a Pro Plugger that's going to allow you to remove cores, like plugs of grass and soil, and then move that into the areas where the tree used to be, and away you go. That's going to be the best way of ensuring that where that tree used to be, the grass matches perfectly. And if you want to get one of those, I'll show you where you can get them on Amazon. There's probably other places you can get them too, but I will send you a link. Send you a link here to the Pro Plugger, the OG. They're like, it's a whole $39. They're not super expensive, and it's a useful tool to have. If you have pets or your lawn gets a lot of damage, it's just useful to have one of these. So here you go. This is where you can pick one up if you are so inclined. That is how I would repair the area where the tree used to be. And good job, man. I mean, it's sad to see a tree go bye-bye, but at least you are asking the question, and you're going about it in a way that is going to, I think you're going to be the most happy with. Now, fixing it, going the plug route can be a bit slower. It's not going to be as slow as seed, but in the long run, you're going to like how it looks better than, you bring in some sod in that's supposed to be the same as your grass type, and it doesn't match. And you're going to have this one area that every time you go out to go mow it, like it's going to look different. The color's going to be different. The texture's going to be different. It's going to drive you absolutely crazy. And the problem with Bermuda grass is that once you have it, once it's in, heaven help if you want to get rid of it. It's really tough to get rid of. I mean, and there's not really even a selective way of doing that, like removing that area and not damaging the rest of your lawn. So you can avoid all of that by just using your same grass type with plugs. So that is what I would do if I were you. Jared George says, what kind of music is your friend playing? He says, oh yeah, a bit of everything. He plays, he does a lot of covers. I've not heard he plays like acoustic guitar. So I've heard him do some stuff from Maroon 5. I mean, you pick any of the any like popular acoustic music guitar, he's done that. I mean, he's come check out his album. Maybe it's not electric guitar, it's acoustic. I don't want to say like American, I don't know, like maybe like American light rock, like ballad type music is what it sounds like. He's really good. And then he says, "You like Zombie?" Yeah, I like Rob Zombie. Do you like Kill Switch Engage? No, I don't know who that is, so I can't say that I do, but I like Zombie. I like Rob Zombie. I like his music. He's got some like Dragula is a pretty like that whole entire album. I mean, if you look at the when I got into Zombie, whenever you if you ever watched the original Matrix, like the and you guys that are under 20 probably not, but I mean if you ever saw the original Matrix movie, Neo, Trinity, all that, like a lot like the music that is played in the club scene whenever like Neo's meeting Trinity the first time, that is Rob Zombie. So that's when I started to get into it. I was like, man, this music's really good. It's not just one song. He's got like a lot of really good music. So that's when I got into him. It's been a while. All right, next up is Jacob Madrid. He says, "Beautiful lawn, Larry." Yep, it is. It is pretty sweet. For any of you guys that have just joined the live stream have not seen the awesomeness of Larry's renovation project. So this is how his lawn looks as of today. As of today, he actually crawled up on the roof, braving death, life limit injury. You know what I mean? Just to be able to take these pictures to bring it to you guys, so you can see the awesomeness of his lawn. And it did come in. It is coming in very nicely. It is coming in really nicely. I agree. I agree. King Khan is up next. He says, "Just stopping through to say hi. What's up, everyone? Hit that like button." Thank you so much, King Khan. Definitely, guys, hit the like. If you have not hit the like button, you're doing it wrong. You know what? You know what this is like? Kind of like, when you go to Chick-fil-A, for those of you that don't have a Chick-fil-A wherever you live, one, I'm sorry, because you're missing out on one of life's great joys. But with Chick-fil-A, how they do their drive-through, where you wrap around, like you have like the inner circle, and then the circle, you have ring zero. If you're like a programming person, you have ring zero, the closest one where you get closest to getting your food, and you have the outer ring for people that have to go around the building to place your order, and then you have the outer ring. And if you're the kind of person that is like, like when you're going to the drive-through and you're trying to cut from the outer ring into the ring that is to order your food, and you're trying to bypass the people that are waiting to get into the ring too, you're Chick-fil-A-ing wrong. And if you're here at the live stream and you're coming, especially every week, and you're not like hitting the like button, you're live streaming wrong. Like, you're doing it wrong. So don't be a person that Chick-fil-A is wrong. Don't be a person that live streams wrong. Hit the like button. If you're enjoying the content, it's a free way to support the channel. Don't be that guy or gal. Don't be that person. All right, Mark Loon is up next. He says, "Hello, Ron. Tuning in late. Hope all is well. Happy Thursday, everybody. Lawn is still greenish. Neighbors are dormant. Subtle flex realized." Mark, I got you. Glad to hear that you are still flexing on your neighbors, and that your lawn's still holding on to some green while theirs are brown, parched, dying, wishing they could have the nutrients that you put into your lawn that makes it look as awesome as it does, right? All right. Alexander Lee says, "Way to put the corner lot folks in the spotlight. In that case, we need to swap houses." No, it's true, Alex, because with your lawn, every time I drive down from like where the pool area is, like where the tennis courts are, when I'm driving down, like your lawn is right there. You can see the front lawn, and it does look good. I have to say, it does look good. But I mean, imagine if that lawn were not like real mode, if it hadn't been top dress, it wouldn't fit. You know what I mean? It's a nice opener to the side lawn that then looks to your back lawn. So if you're on a corner, you are representing, lawn care nerds. You really got to step it up. Like, your game has to be on point more so than folks that are not in the cul-de-sac, that are not on the corner, because you set the tone for that street when someone's about to go down that street. So it's a big responsibility. And you do a good job, Alex. So I'm not giving you a hard time, but you know what I'm saying. You gotta keep it tight. All right, Two Trillo's up next. He says, "Not lawn related, but the wife and I are thinking about enrolling the girls into karate ages 5 and 9. Any advice on do's and don'ts?" Yes. I mean, martial arts, don't get me started on karate, but since you asked, like, one of the best things you can do for kids, in my opinion, is some kind of sports, martial arts being like a great sport to get into, because the discipline that comes from karate, the ability to stick, you learn how to stick with something that is hard. You know what I mean? Like, you think about this. Think about the people that you work with. I mean, everybody has this. Think about people that you work with that are just not reliable. They don't show up. They don't do what they say they're going to do. And whenever they do something, they do it kind of halfway, right? Like if you're that kind of person, Martial arts is going to break you of that, or you're just not going to stick around very long, right? So as far as learning life lessons, as far as being able to set goals, stick with something for a long time, and reach those goals, like karate is awesome, man. I mean, I always tell whenever parents come in and they're talking about it, or kids or people talking about like, why should I enroll my kids or not? I always say the best part of karate has nothing to do with throwing punches or kicks or learning how to break a board or anything like that. It's really about finding your inner limits, of finding, like, about doing something hard, doing something that's not easy, like testing, like in our school, like if you were to join, as a white belt, you're looking at 4 years, 3.5 to 4 years, depending on how seriously you train, to go from white belt to first degree black belt, right? So 4 years. Think about it. How many things in life do people stick with for like 4 years in a row consistently? And how many things do young people, especially like kids, stick with for 4 years in a row consistently? Not much, right? So I mean, it's a good way to groom them for accomplishing big things in life. You know what I mean? And the funny thing is, you look at, like, I can think about some of the kids that were into karate, that I trained with growing up, and then a lot of them have left because they went off to college or off to do other things. Like one of them is Sammy, really accomplished guy, really a musician, excellent at what he does. You got some that are power lifters. You have others that when they go off to college, they don't get into trouble. They stick with the program. So there's a lot of good life lessons that come from martial arts. As far as what to look for in a school, I mean, you're going to want to make sure that you want to understand, like, how they do promotions, like how you want to make sure the instructor is like, their behavior outside of the studio also counts for what they do in the studio. So for example, we're at the studio that I train at, Rock Solid Karate in Gainesville. Let's say you are you're a student, you're training, and then you're messing around in school. You're not doing your schoolwork. You're getting in an argument, you're getting in a fight, or you're just being a hooligan. Like, you can have your belt taken away. You know what I mean? If you disrespect an instructor, you can have your belt taken away. Like, it's not, you want to make sure that that if you enroll your kids in martial arts, that the instructor, that the teaching staff are really there to help develop, to play a part in developing really good people. You know what I mean? That's in my opinion what a good martial arts studio is going to do. Not just that you pay your money and you stick around for X number of classes and you just get your belt, you just kind of just move through the ranks. It needs to be challenging. It needs to be hard. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you should get in trouble for it. You know what I mean? Kind of like real life. So I would absolutely recommend it. I mean, again, it's one of the best things you can do from 8 to 80. It's something you can do your entire life. So if you started your girls at 5 and 9 into martial arts, and they trained until they were like in the college, they went off to school, there's nothing that says they still can't do it while they're in college. There's nothing that says that whenever they get out of college and they start their careers, they can't take up training again. So it's something you can literally do your entire life. Like we always say, from 8 to 80, you can do it your entire life, and it's a great way to stay in shape. Again, it's tons of benefits. I absolutely love it. So I would not. I'm a big proponent of martial arts for young people. I think it's really good. It has nothing to do with learning how to fight. It's really more about the life lessons and the discipline that comes from doing something hard, embracing the suck, because in accomplishing anything in life, there's typically a certain amount of suck that comes along with it, and being able to just, to get through that and say, you know what, this sucks and it's really hard, and that's the way it is, and I'm just going to have to just stick with it. Is, if you can do that, you're already ahead of like most people in life, because most people can't do that. So hope that helps too, Trilla. As far as styles, I mean, it doesn't really matter as much. I mean, I do like any of the Korean arts. Like I do Tang Soo-do, which is related closely to Taekwondo. It's one of the Korean martial arts. So yeah, one of those would be good. There's tons of studios around, but just do your research. And yeah. So hopefully, I guess that's my spiel. That's my thoughts on karate. Yes, it's a good thing, especially for young people. All right, next up is Ivy Jones. He says, hey, Ron, I have Yukon Bermuda overseeded with perennial rye. I'm noticing the Bermuda has seed heads, which I understand to be a sign of stress. I'm not sure if it's a temperature change or the N deficiency. It is the former. It is a temperature change. So whenever temperatures go from cool to hot, so like in the May timeframe, you'll start seeing seed heads being a thing with Bermuda lawns. And then also as temperatures begin to cool off, or when it really gets that close to that first frost, that's when you might also see Bermuda throw off some seed heads. So it's completely normal. In most lawns, it's a 3-week or so thing to where, you know, you'll see them for a couple of weeks and they kind of subside. So it's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. I wouldn't be concerned about it. I would not go out. Well, you're feeding the perennial ryegrass because since you overseeded your Bermuda grass, you're still going to be fertilizing. So if there is an N deficiency, that would take care of it. But what you're seeing is completely normal. It's nothing. It's not a cause for alarm. Continue feeding your ryegrass as long as it's growing, and expect to see the same thing in Mayish next year whenever summer temperatures come in and it starts to get hot again. So great question, Ivy. No, you're not doing anything wrong. It's completely normal. A way to help suppress that and is to use, that's one of the questions, one of the comments from another viewer, is to use a growth regulator like Primo Max, right? So if you use Primo on Bermuda or really any grass type, while this can be used for suppressing seed heads in Poa annua, it also helps suppress seed heads in Bermuda. So this is one of the reasons why I introduced this into my program a little bit earlier. So like mid to late April, I'll start using Primo. Even though technically the grass isn't growing that quickly as yet, I introduce it early so that it's in the plant, so that whenever temperatures start to rise, you know, it's already in the plant, and you're just going to get a lot less seed heads in your lawn versus not having the lawn under regulation. So what you want to have it in the plant prior to the conditions being there. So you don't want to wait till seed heads are showing up and then start using Primo. I mean, it'll help some, but it works better if it's in the plant prior to the conditions that cause seed heads to really become a problem. So good question. Hope that helps get you on the right track, sir. And sounds like fun. And take pictures next time if you're going to come on the live stream next week, if you don't mind. I mean, take pictures of your overseeded ryegrass lawn. I'd like to see them. I'd like to see how it looks. Your overseeded Bermuda lawn with the perennial rye. I'd like to see how it came in. Because Robert is our resident. I don't have a picture of it. Is our resident Bermuda overseeded with ryegrass, person that's always in the live stream, and it looks pretty baller. You can see there, that looks pretty incredible. I think I've got some other pictures here from him that are a little bit closer up that show different options. One with it striped, yeah, the diamonds. It looks pretty solid. Looks really solid. So that's what that can look like. So yeah, next time if you're the live stream next week and you want to send pictures to show off all your hard work, feel free to send them my way, and I will do my best to help you out. All right, so next up is, we'll just call this another not so subtle flex. Jeremy had to send me some pictures. He's like, hey man, I want to show you my Tiff Green. What does he got here? No, Tiff Tough. So I've got my Tiff Tough in Dallas. It's still holding pretty strong. So I'll show you what Tiff Tough, man, this looks way better than my lawn does. Tiff Tough in Dallas this time of year. And that's what he's working with. Now, you'd say, oh, well, that looks okay. What's so great about it? If you look at the lawn in the background, so you see the lawn that's like further away from his, that is largely dormant, not looking great, and looking at his lawn, when you contrast the two, very big difference. So nicely done, sir. Nicely done. Lawn looks awesome. Keep up the great work. Lawn looks really good. Jeremy Neal sent a picture in of his overseeded, of his Tiff Tough Bermuda lawn, which looks pretty sweet. I have to admit, looks pretty sweet. You Dallas folks, man, you guys are representing hard. So there you go, guys. So this is another reason why. So Tiff Tough, that's another one. That's another Bermuda cultivar available as sod. So if you're gonna do a renovation, again, I'm really trying to push you towards going sod. Go with sod. A lot better options, cooler options, versus having to versus what you get in grass seed. All right, next up is Josue Araya. He says, hey Ron, got my first soil test done for the front and back. Want your advice on what to add come springtime. Thanks. No problem. Send them to me. Did you send them to me as yet? Do I have them? Yes, you did. Okay, cool. You sent them to me, but you sent a really big one. Can I think I can just copy just this out. Let me see if I can make this work. You're making me work, Josue. You didn't send me just a soil test parts. Let's do this. All right, so I got your soil test. And where is the file? It is right here. All right, cool. All right, so let's bring this up. We'll do it live. Why not, right? Do it live. Make it, it's a PNG. It needs to be a JPEG. 1 second. Just a sec. And away we go. All right. So here is your soil test results. All right, from earlier this month, early November. All right, so your pH is spot on, which is good. We like that. pH is in great shape. 6.6, right where it needs to be. Good stuff. Let's see, your N is looks good, is optimal. Phosphorus low, potassium low, sulfur, calcium, magnesium. Yeah, so pretty much. So what I would do if I'm you, I would use a balanced fertilizer like the Complete 14-7-14. That is what I would use. I would stack that along with Nutrizolve. So yeah, we need to bring your macros all up a bit, and then your micros need some love too. So what I would do if I were you is this. Let me get you over here to the Golf Course Lawn Store. If you go to shop and then lawn fertilizer, for your lawn, you're going to want to use this. It's got all three. It's got nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Even though your nitrogen is showing right now as optimal, you're still going to want to feed the lawn with nitrogen monthly when it's actively growing, because it's one of the most important. I mean, they're all important, but nitrogen you absolutely want to have. Ensure the lawn is getting that regularly. So the 14-7-14 is what I would go with. This is going to help bring all your macro levels up. And then for the micronutrients, I would go with a liquid. I would go with this. I would go with Nutrizolve. So this has all your micronutrients, your iron, zinc, molybdenum. You can see them here, your boron, copper, iron, zinc, and manganese. So this will help bring your micros up, and that's going to put you in a pretty good spot. Let's take a look here one last time, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, overall, this looks pretty good. If you ever, like, these also have, like the Lebanon fertilizers also have a bit of magnesium in them as well, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at the label here really quick. I think there's some magnesium in here. Actually, let me just pull the label up. That's going to be the way to go. So product label, that's the wrong one. We're going to go with this guy, and product label, which is right here. And if we zoom in, yeah, so your soil test also needs a bit, basically your soil test, you need a bit of magnesium as well. So if we get this off the screen and I go over to the store, this is the label for the 14-7-14. And you can see that you also get a bit of magnesium to help boost that, bring that up a little bit. So 1.5%, so a little bit of magnesium to help bring that up. How are your other levels looking? Your sulfur is high, so you are going to get a little bit of sulfur from this as well, but that's okay. Yeah. So it's a good fit. I would absolutely go with this as your fertilizer to help correct those deficiencies, Josue. So that and Nutrizolve. I'll send you a link here to where you can find both those on the Golf Course Lawn Store. And now is a great time to stock up, because if you use the pinned comment or the discount code Insider2024, that will allow you to save on your fertilizer purchase. So let me get back here, and I'll send you this link, which was where you can pick them up. Josue Araya. There you go. So yeah, good stuff, sir. Hope that helps. If you need anything else, or if you have any other questions, let me know. Brian Tanner says, what's the average cost to get a real ground in Georgia? I live in Woodstock, so not far from your side of town. Between $100 and $150. $100 to $150. That's about the going rate of getting a grind done. That is what you're going to pay. If you go to, I mean, I think that's what yeah, even Jerry Pate, it's going to be around that. So they're going to be closer to the 150. If you go to like Michael Hammonds is going to be closer to that 100. So between 100 and 150 is what I would expect to pay. That's what should be looking for. All right. Next up is Oliver Ridham. He says, "This will be my second year doing Popeye's turkey. It actually is good without a doubt." See, at least I'm not crazy. Previous turkeys in the past were too dry. It's all about the juices. So that's what I'm telling you. I mean, and again, I don't like I'm Popeye by Popeye's chicken or anything like that. And I really hate talking about Popeyes because I have a buddy of mine that always harasses me about Popeye's chicken. And if he sees this, he's just going to harass me. He's going to use this as fuel to get on my case. But at any rate, it actually is good. You saw that. I mean, I didn't put Oliver up to this. I mean, it's if you want an easy way to prepare a turkey that tastes excellent, I mean, you can't go wrong with that because it's already seasoned. Literally, all you have to do is take it out, thaw it, and then bake it, or like heat it up, and you're good to go. And it's really good. I don't really like turkey, and the way Popeyes does it is quite good. So you have a second person checking the box on an option for turkey, for a Popeyes turkey. But you have to, our local one, in years past, you still have to let them know ahead of time. But now you can, I would still let them know, hey, I want to get one, and so they can reserve it to make sure they don't run out of stock, and you can just get it like the day before. The day before, just tell them that you're going to go pick it up. You can grab it, and then you're off for the races. All you got to do again is just thaw it and heat it up, bake it, and you're good. Comes with directions on the package. Shortgrass Living is up next. He says, "Good evening, Ron. Emailed you a pic of the lawn here in the Dallas area. Still have some green, but I'm getting a lot of worm castings. Any way to reduce that?" No, not really. I mean, worm castings are a good sign. It's a sign of a healthy lawn. So I really wouldn't want to get rid of them. I mean, worm castings are from earthworms. It's like nature's natural aeration. Whenever you mow the lawn, which, given how nice your lawn looks, Jeremy, I'm sure you're out there mowing it pretty often. Just run over them with the front roller as you're mowing and continue on about your way. I wouldn't try and do anything to try and eliminate earthworms because it's a good sign when you have them in your soil. So the way to reduce them is to get rid of earthworms, and I would highly dissuade you from doing that. You really don't want to do that. So yeah, earthworms, they're a good thing. Just deal with the worm castings. It's not that big a deal. Not that big a deal. Your lawn looks pretty good to me, despite the earth castings, the worm castings, right? All right. Next up is Ben Raham. He says, I had fun with the seed renovations, but dang, it is work and it's expensive in the end. I think it's more expensive from the watering standpoint. It does take more. He says, I'm happy with the look and the cultivar. The good stuff can rival sod, but the pain and time, expect a 3-year grow-in and sod wins. Yeah, so that's a good point. So it's true. Like Princess 77 and Arden 15 are a seeded Bermuda that, in my opinion, can look as good as sod. It competes. It's a finer leaf. It's a very, very nice looking Bermuda grass. As far as one grown from seed, it's excellent. But you can't get either of them anymore. So there is that. There is that. So what I would say is, since you can't get Arden 15 or Princess 77, sod. That is what I would say. All right, so we have a comment here from Shauna553. She says, "Hey Ron, I put down Spectacle Flow on September 18th. Is it due again soon or next month? Point 10th again and again. And when is it time is what I planned?" Okay, so you applied Spectacle Flow at a 1/10 of an ounce per 1,000 in September. You can do another application at a 1/10 of an ounce per 1,000. I would wait until December to do that. So the end of this month leading into December is when I would do the next app. I wouldn't do it now. It's still a little bit early. So give it another 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and then do your next app again at the same rate, 0.10 fluid ounces per 1,000 square feet, and then that's going to carry you over in the spring. You'll be good until you apply whatever you decide to go with for your spring pre-emergent, like prodiamine or dithiopyr. So, yeah, sounds like you're on the right track, Shauna. If you have any other questions, let me know. Good stuff. I like it. Mark Luna says, patiently waiting for December to spray my second app of Spectacle Flow and Essential G. See, even you and Mark, you guys have mind melded. You're on the same program. You guys are both on that 2-app for Spectacle. The one thing I would say, and you didn't ask this, Shauna, is something I'm planning to do when I do my Spectacle app next month is I'm also going to put some certainty in the tank at the high rate. So if I have any kind of breakthrough with Poanua, I don't expect there to be any because Spectacle is pretty baller. But just to help, if there's any happen to be any that's trying to come through, this will make quick work of it. If you decide to use certainty along with Spectacle, make sure that you read the label. The rate for certainty for controlling Poanua is 1.25 ounces per acre on the low end, up to 2 ounces per acre on the high end. So what I would say, what that equates to is per 1,000 square feet, you're going to go with 1 large scoop and then 1 or 2 of the small scoops. That's going to get you between 1.25 ounces and 2 ounces per acre, and that's going to present good control for POA, especially since if you're mixing this with Spectacle, you're not likely going to be using surfactant, so you're going to want to bump the rate up just a little bit over that 1.25 ounces per 1,000, in my opinion, for best results. So if you want a little kicker to go along with the Spectacle, put a little bit of certainty in the tank. If you don't have certainty, you can get some on the Golf Course Lawn Store, and you can actually save some money on it now because there's actually a sale that's running for Black Friday. Use the code INSIDER2024 to get your discount at checkout on certainty or anything else that we carry in the Golf Course Lawn Store for a limited time and while supplies last. Let's see. Did I skip someone's? Let me see. Did I skip someone's super chat? Let me see here. Did I? I said someone. My things are telling me I missed somebody's super chat. No, I didn't. I just haven't gotten there yet. Okay. Next up is Jonathan Christian. Jonathan Christian, where are you? I'm just getting there now. So John Christian sends a super chat. Thank you so much, John.
Super chat received.
He says, I'm in Buford with my poor ignored Bermuda. Now, okay, we're starting this off on a bad note. Why you said it's ignored, no love at all? Why do you say that? You said 2 aerations in 9 years. Yeah, that would qualify as ignored. Thanks for your videos. I'm gonna do better. Top dress next June. Okay, cool. So John, now that we've established that yes, only 2 aerations in 9 years would qualify as not receiving a lot of love. If you are gonna aerate next year, if you're gonna top dress, plan the aeration around the time you're gonna be doing the top dressing. Like I'm a big fan of stacking top dressing or doing aeration along with your top dressing process. So if you're gonna do it, you would aerate the lawn, aerate it heavily, make multiple passes, really beat it up, apply any kind of granular biostimulant that you're planning on using, like Essential G. If you're going to be using a fertilizer, which I recommend, apply that. And then finally, once the lawn's been aerated, you've applied your granular biostimulant and you've applied your fertilizer, then top dress on top of it, right? Because you think about it, a granular biostimulant like Essential G needs to get in the soil to work. A fertilizer or a granular fertilizer needs to be in the soil to work. So when the soil profile is all opened up from all those cores being pulled out from being aerated, it's a perfect time to apply those products and then do your top dressing on top of it, water it, and wait. And you will be good. You'll be good to go. And if you want some tips on top dressing, John, if you're so interested, if you go to resources on the Golf Course Lawn Store and our so carefully curated blog, I'm pretty sure I've got an article on here on top dressing. I'm pretty sure I do. It might be on page 2. Let me look here. So how to top dress your lawn. I'm pretty sure I've got, here we go. How to top dress your lawn, a complete guide. I knew I'd find it. So why top dressing is important. Why is it so awesome? Why you should do it. What's the best top dressing mix to use? What kind of tools you're going to need? Leading up to top dressing, how to make sure you get a good result, how to aerate your lawn when you're planning on top dressing it, how to apply your top dressing mix, a good fertilizer to apply when you're about to top dress, technique, good technique so as you don't bury the lawn to where it's all smothered, all this fun stuff, all this work that went into producing this article, John, just so that whenever you ask a question about top dressing, I've got this to share with you. So it makes me happy. So here you go, at John Christian. I mean, you don't need it now, but you can just bookmark this for next year, or you can just read it now if you want, with some info on how I like to do it. There's a lot of different ways of top dressing, but I am a big fan, if you want the best results, to aerate right before you top dress. So yeah, great stuff. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. And while your Bermuda lawn was ignored, it will be ignored no longer, because you're about to give it that good. You're about to give it a nice massage and give it all the essential oils and whatever. Whenever you go to a spa, that's what happens, right? They give you a massage. They give you it's like skin peel. They rub oils on you. You're about to do that to your lawn. You're about to give your lawn a nice massage and get it all prepped to dominate in 2024. Thanks again for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. And guys, if I take a while to get to your questions, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's literally, I literally go through the stuff in the order that they come in. So if I get a question here, or something that comes over on Instagram, I just bounce back and forth. But I don't, if I'm taking a while to get to your question, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just because I've got, I'm literally trying, I don't have like a producer, so I'm literally trying to do a bunch of different things at the same time. But I appreciate the super chat again. Thank you so much for all the love and support. We have another super chat. This one from Shortgrass Living. Appreciate you.
Super chat received.
He says, thank you for all you've done this year. Dropping the bomb. He says, thank you for all you've done this year. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Thank you so much for the very generous super chat, John Shortgrass Living. Thank you. You have now dethroned the notorious LG. He was up for a while, but you, sir, will probably be our. I'm going to save this in case LG comes back, so I don't have to get this emoji again. You will now be our show sponsor. So your name, Short Grass Living, your name in lights, for whatever that means to you, with the Tiff Tough lawn that's still dominating. So Short Grass Living, guys, Jeremy is that guy. That guy. So thank you so much, sir. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all of the love and support. And then John says, first live is trust me for Ron to skip over super chats. Nope, it's not. It just takes me, I just go through them in the order they come in, John. I just didn't get to them yet. Like literally your super chat came in right before Brian's question or about the reels. So that's why. I normally will jump to super chats once I finish the last question that I was covering. So forgive me. It happens. It's only me here doing my best, man. All right, next up is, let's see here. Oliver says this will actually be my second year. Cool. That's nice. I like to hear that. And I think I did miss yours, John. I think you are right. So again, it wasn't intentional, sir. When I bounce back and forth, figure out where I left off is often an issue. But we got you taken care of. Hopefully the answer was good. If you need any more detail, let me know. All right. Next up is Chantel. Chantel says, I totally forgot it was Thursday live stream this week. We'll definitely catch the recap. Like button smashed. You are, it's okay, Chantel. You came in. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming into the live stream. And then next is Justin King. Says, I live on a corner a lot and notice in my neighborhood, the best looking lawns are the corner lots. It's true, man. Because I mean, you have to, or I'd say the most noticed lawns are the corner lots, right? So you really want to step it up. You want to make sure that your lawn is looking good. I mean, think about it. Think about how many times you've driven in a neighborhood and you go through, you go to a corner, there's like a stop sign there, and the lawn that you look at on your right or left looks like absolute like Hades, right? It looks like just no one cares about it. You're thinking, man, is this the right neighborhood? I don't know how people in this neighborhood take care of their lawns. Like it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the neighborhood, right? So if you have a corner lot or you're in a cul-de-sac, you got to represent, man. You're carrying the flag for all us lawn nerds. You have to be held to a higher standard. Next up is Neil White. He says, hey, Ron, I don't have any questions, but hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks, Neil. Plan on just hanging out and relaxing, and there'll likely be another live stream next, there will be one on Friday. Friday night, there'll be a live stream more than likely. So you know how it is. And next up, you got Mr. John Christian. He says, thank you. You're very welcome, John. And again, my apologies. I hope I didn't put a bad taste in your mouth. I know it's your first time being in the chat and in the live stream and your first time giving a super chat. So believe me when I tell you it was not intentional. I wouldn't do that. It's a lot of juggling going on. And I think, you know what, John, I think that is it. I don't see any other questions or comments. So I guess at this point I have to cue the outro music. Tell you guys again that there's a pinned comment to where you can save 5% across the entire Golf Course Lawn store. It's for a limited time. The only people that I've told about it so far are the folks on the live stream, the Golf Course Lawn Academy members, and then my mailing list. So this time next week, next Thursday, I'll do a broader, blast to let folks know about, the discount that's running. It's going to end on, I guess it's Cyber Monday. So it'll end the Monday after Thanksgiving, the after Thanksgiving weekend. So load up for this season, take advantage of the sale. We don't do them very often, so use this as an opportunity to get your lawn all set up for 2024 at a discount. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate all the love and support for coming to hang out. And Oliver, yes, there will be a stream next Friday. I'm going to be here next Friday. If you guys are going to be here, I'll be here. And then I think that's about it, guys. Thank you guys for all the love and support. I will see you guys next week. Have an amazing, amazing weekend and a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Don't do anything I would do. Take care.